Sorry. My grandson woke up right when I started to stream, and then he woke up, and I had to get him back in bed. So hopefully, I didn't even bother starting. I had a video to play, and I didn't play it because it's I'm sorry. I apologize. Apologize about last night. What's up? GS Sharkman is first. The host does not count. That's right. Terry, hello. Derek, what's up? None of your business. How you doing? How you doing, Mr. Gagax? I already shut the ads off. Sharon Tyler, how you doing? Marjorie, Jim's on repeat. I apologize. Steve, J Marco, and this. Oh, what's this say? Hi, friend. I saw your channel. No, it's posting great content. However, you need more followers and views. So you use agreement. Feel free to contact me. Nanny Goat, what's going on? No Jabski, Jonathan. Julio, let's rally. All right. Yeah. All right, so I'll get to the Lady Bama. What's up, Lady Bama? Lady Bama. Bama. My hair looks especially handsome tonight. Thank you. Yeah. Well, no, for last night, what happened was I've been having computer problems. All right. And my brand new computer came yesterday at the replacement. Got it all set up. Went to turn it on, and it just came to the screen that I'll show you what it said on the screen. Let's see here. And this is all that it would show on this. Oh. That's what all it would show on the screen. I don't know what that was that just happened. It was boot failure detected, failure to boot. I spent 3 hours trying to get it to work. Could not get it to work. Couldn't get it to do anything. And so by the time it got close to showtime, I had no show prep done. I had nothing ready. So I just said, yes, Kevin, my hair looks extra handsome tonight. It does. It's a little thinning though. Look at that. It's good. I'm losing some hair, it looks like. We'll have to, so. Anyway, so here, I'll add this to the stage now. We'll watch this. This is a very interesting take on. Yeah, not good. Yeah, so I had to send it back today, and let's just hope and pray that it gets corrected. No, I'll get a different, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know.
They're saying they're protesting kings, but they're the ones trying to overturn the will of the voters. Think about that. It kept happening over and over. Security guard of our building, one neighbor walking a dog. And I was just like, why would people want to go to that? The protesters call Trump authoritarian, but he's the one implementing the policies he was elected on. That's not tyranny. That's representative government. I get that you might not like what his agenda is, but it is literally what he ran on. And he won the popular vote. I think to try and remove that leader, that's the anti-democratic move. And I just support the president. I'm not saying I'm anti-protest ever, but it was very groupthinky. I didn't like the energy out there. So many people kept asking me, hey, did you go to the rally earlier? No. I realized that here in New York City, my opinion is unpopular. It was the cool thing to do here in my neighborhood, Chelsea. But I guess
it's got to be like a troll or something. This can't be real. AI or something. I don't know.
In reality, they're trying to undo a democratic process they just don't like the outcome of. Even if he's not for every policy that I would be for domestically, he's for sure every policy that I'm for foreign policy wise. And I just feel that he's making the world safer with what he's doing in the Middle East and domestically. I don't support mobs of left-wing people trying to say that Western civilization is bad and that our way of life is bad. I think our way of life is good. It's always shocking to me that I really align now with the conservative viewpoint, but it's like, I do. The transition is complete. So when people ask me, why didn't you go? I just skip the debate, because how do you explain that demanding the removal of an elected leader isn't the defense of democracy? It's the opposite. I don't want to get into it with them. I just kept it to myself.
That's the thing. Like all these people, we're going to get to it later, some more stuff. All these people calling for the stuff that they're doing is actually is actually like they're in the middle of a seditious conspiracy. That's that's the Democrats are doing sedition right now. Everything they're doing, fighting everything that trying to oppose everything the government's doing just to oppose it, the federal government. I would look great with a little blue rinse through. You think so? Yeah, the blue hair is sus, but he's throwing the truth. It is. It's crazy, right? So yeah, I saw this. I was like, I got to play this. I was going to play this as like the opening video, but I don't know. There was so much of delay starting, so whatever. Anyway, so everybody knows the routine. If we hit $75, I'll add an extra hour to the show. The show's going to go about 2.5 hours, and then if if any individual donation comes in of 25 or greater, Bella Vision gets activated. If not, when the 75 hits, Bella Vision gets activated. And then we'll go. Got a bunch of stuff from yesterday and today to do, so we'll see how far we get today. I saw this other thing that I wanted to share before we get into one of the news stories. I would look great in those glasses. Okay, I'm sold. I'm gonna go get those glasses. I'm gonna dye my hair blue. It's the time. Is it time to end multi-generational freeloading on the backs of hardworking American taxpayers? Because it feels like it's time. All right. Because here you got Dinesh D'Souza says, living off food stamps is a family tradition. This is intergenerational dependency that FDR, LBJ, and the Democrats have created. This is what LBJ said. He would have a certain group of people voting for him for 100 years or 50 years or something like that. And this is where we're at. All right.
So my sister made a video about how my whole entire family gets EBT. And everyone is calling us bums because we don't work and we live off the government. And we are proud of that. Growing up, this is what we were taught. We were taught to not have to work. We were taught to live off the government because it is there for us to use. And from what I could remember, it all started back with my grandparents. My grandparents used to get the paper, like the paper coupons to go and pay for, food and stuff like that. And that's when I was like, this is free money. Like, what?
It's not
So
free.
living off
I'm
of
paying
EBT
for
is
it.
literally
You're
a
paying for it.
tradition in our family. Once my grandparents passed away, my mom started, applying, and she got approved for all six of us kids. And then, once my sister got older, she had her first child. She applied for food stamps, and she got, like it was just like, a domino effect. One after another, we all got approved for EBT. And guess what? It's not going to stop there. Why? Because I have taught my children, and I'm going to be teaching my grandchildren that they should do the same thing. They don't have to work. They could just have children, put themselves on EBT, get child support, all of that I do so I don't have to work. They could do it themselves too.
What? All that I do, so I don't have to work. What? This is what the Democrats are fighting for. This is what they want money for. Anyway, no, I did not make it past the bio screen. If you were, if you saw, this is what I had. This is it, and that computer is already on its way back to the manufacturer, and I'm going to try again. So, yeah. Work so hard so you don't have to work. This has to be a fake video. I would hope it was a fake video, but man, I don't know, man. It's depressing. And Julio says, I hear there's openings for drug boat captains. She should apply for that. Speaking of the drug boat captains. Oh, wait. No. Sorry. This is not the drug boat captains. This is Chicago resident tells Mayor Brandon Johnson that the community supports ICE and that they are coming for his seat, exposing what she calls his fake black facade. Segue. Well, the segue, I screwed up the segue. I forgot this was next in here because I didn't know where else to put this video. So, and I had to play this video, which I should have played this after the blue-haired guy, actually.
So, Mayor Brandon Johnson, look up here. Look up here. Look up here. You got a real South Shore resident of 63 years up here. Not no paid protester, not somebody that's paid with a 501c3. You got a real, live South Shore resident at this mic. Now what you're going to do for the citizens of South Shore and the black people of Chicago, you're going to stop with all this fake black facade you're doing. You're going to stop that. Because first of all, you're going to deal with the fact that word on the street is you're a Haitian. And if that be the case, that explains a lot. But if you're not,
He's a Haitian.
We're going to dethrone this self-acclamation you gave yourself at that Black Caucus thing, where you said that you're the freest black man in America right now. I dare you insult black men like that. You are far cry from that. You're sitting here talking against Trump, trying to make him look this way or that way.
I just want to point out, too, for everybody, she's not reading off a piece of paper, all right? She's not reading off a script like you see these people with their phones or with a paper reading when they're saying all this stuff. All the people that are, protesting at all these No Kings rallies and all these supporters, they have to read what someone else wrote. This is coming from her heart, from her mind. This is not coming from no shit was written by someone else. Take it for what you will, but she means what she's saying. This ain't some shit somebody else came up with. Mm-hmm. So the city of Chicago government has to isolate themselves like CVS keeps Razorhead behind plexiglass. It's starting to look that way, isn't it? Like they stuck them. They didn't used to stick them up behind glass like that, but yeah, she's def jamming it. What's up, Jay Lee? God, how's it going? Yeah, so we're going to continue this because this is how people on the South Side talk. South Side!
When we right here this morning saw you misuse the police department to violate our rights as citizens, right? You told them that they cannot participate in getting these illegal immigrants while you sat up here and misrepresented that raid on South Shore Drive like black people was getting beat up and all that over there. You know that's a lie. I live over there, and black people over there, we kicking in and we chilling because I ain't looking for us. And you know they're not. They're coming to get what we asked our president to do, and that was to engage in mass deportation, to get these illegals out of our country. We are coming for them seats. Do you understand that? And while you got these people up in here acting like they pro-police, if they really was about the police, against the police, whatever the case may be, they deal with that Laquan McDonald Act so that we can get y'all up out of that seat. Yeah, you wipe your face. Yeah? You wipe your face because you're probably out breaking out in a sweat. Let me tell you something. We coming for them seats. And at first, I said it to you. Then it spread it to city council. But now you're going to mess with the black people of America and American citizens by being a fraud and showing the Democratic Party by how lousy they really are. Black people in America, American citizens, y'all say it along with me. From the East Coast to the West Coast, from the North to the South. The Democratic Party, we're putting y'all on alert. All across of America. That's right. We coming for them seats.
Coming for them seats. I hope so. I should hope so. All right, now, without further to-do. I know it's a do. I like to say to-do. Because I have some other things to do. Yesterday, at the direction of the president, the Department of War conducted a lethal kinetic strike on a vessel being operated by the designated terrorist organization and conducting narco trafficking in the Eastern Pacific. That's right, folks. Yes, illegals are stealing their free money. I'd be mad as well. Yeah, well, that's part of it. You know, I don't know how. That's part of it. I'm sure it's part of it. Some of them are starting to feel like the Democrats don't care about them as much as they care about the illegals, and you know, you can't go from being someone's number one. I don't want to say the word, but pet. But you know, that's pretty much what they treated them, like they were a pet. You know, tell them come, sit, stay, do what they're told. But you know, now the Democrats got new pets, and they're all illegal pets. They don't have their papers, so the ones, you know, the purebred pets, they're mad. I don't know. That's going to get me in trouble, probably. Yes. So in the Pacific Ocean now, not just the Caribbean, now in the Pacific, we're schwacking ships. The vessel was known by our intelligence to be involved in illicit narco smuggling, was transiting along a known narco trafficking transit route. I mean, what is a known narco trafficking transit route? Would that just be a la kablam? There were 2 narco terrorists aboard the vessel, which was conducted in international waters. None of them have chips. They don't have the chips. They didn't take them and get the chips implanted yet. So, 2 narco terrorists aboard a vessel, which was conducted in international waters. Both terrorists were killed, and no U.S. forces were harmed. Narco terrorists intend to bring poison on our shores. We will find no safe harbor in our hemisphere. They will find no safe harbor in our hemisphere. Just like Al-Qaeda waged war on our homeland, these cartels are waging war on our border and our people. There will be no refuge or no forgiveness, only justice. Yeah, Hex, that's legit playing Missile Command. Wait, narco terrorists don't have chips? Maybe that's how they're finding them. Maybe they're all chipped. I don't know. They probably are putting chips on the boats. So let's see here. Da 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 da. Now you can see, if you look at this boat, you can see all the bales of drugs in the center of the boat. All right, those be drugs. This is not a fishing boat. This is a drug transportation boat. All right. Oh, kablam! Someone went and canceled Christmas. Hey, Mellow Cat, what's up? How you been? So yeah, so that's that, you know, and says this strike underscores a critical truth. Narco-terrorism is warfare. It's chemical warfare. Yeah, this clip really needs the Miami Vice theme. Yeah. It's Gen Alpha coded. They turn off the boat transponder. Tick tock boom. Yeah, the Miami Vice theme would be epic. Yeah. So cartels are flooding our streets with poison. They aren't criminals. They're combatants waging chemical warfare against America. This is the truth. They really are. Neutralizing their operations at sea isn't just tactical, it's strategic, cutting off supply chains before they reach our borders. Critics whine about international law, but dead traffickers can't traffic. Every vessel sunk is a blow to the cartel revenue, destabilizing their networks and protecting U.S. communities. This isn't overreach, it's overdue enforcement. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously working because you had the cartel president of Colombia basically threatening to murder the president yesterday. I saw that clip. I don't know. I thought it was, or maybe it was 2 days ago. It was the 20th. So I was like, and I think I talked about it then. Like, that guy's desperately asking to share a cell with Manuel Noriega if he can make it there alive. Weakness invites aggression. Strength ends it. The Eastern Pacific is now a kill zone for anyone threatening American lives. No apologies. No retreat. No surrender. No remorse. No regret. We don't care what it gets. Trump now says that he will notify Congress of U.S. military strikes likely to occur against drug traffickers on foreign soil. We have to do it to save lives, he says.
Legal authority if they do come.
Yes, we do. We have legal authority, right? We're allowed to do that. And if we do by land, we may go back to Congress. But we have, this is a national security problem. They killed 300,000 people last year, these drugs coming in. They killed 300,000 Americans last year, and that gives you legal authority. We have a national security, really, I will say this. When you look at the people we're dealing with, and we know them, we know the people coming in, we know the boats, we know everything else. We're allowed to do it. It's in international waters. If we don't do it, we're going to lose hundreds of thousands of people. Now, they'll be coming in by land a little bit more because they're not coming in by boat anymore. There are no boats in the water. There are no more boats. We know the boat almost immediately. You know, it's pretty unusual when you see somebody with a fishing rod and 5 engines on the back of the boat. You know, you don't need that to go fishing. Wait. And we will hit them very hard when they come in by land. And they haven't experienced that yet, but now we're totally prepared to do that. We'll probably go back to Congress and explain exactly what we're doing when we come to the land.
Hey, Malachi.
We don't have to do that, but I think, Marco, I'd like to do that. You may respond to that if you want.
Yeah, well, I mean, the question is, bottom line, these are drug boats. If people want to stop seeing drug boats blow up, stop sending drugs to the United States.
But does it matter if it's in the United States?
Well, these are all in international waters. The boat.
Do a strike in the United States, or if Northern
Well, that's a different matter. Now you're talking about a law enforcement matter. In this particular case, there are people traveling on international waters headed towards the United States with hostilities in mind, which includes flooding our country with dangerous, deadly drugs. And they're going to be stopped. And that's what's happening. And in the case last week, you saw there was a submarine. It was a submarine. It was a submersible. That's a drug boat.
This is like, if you guys want to know, is it freezing for you or is it just my screen? Because I don't know if my computer's acting weird, because every time I go to do something, I see it pause. Is it doing that? Are you seeing it like jerk and pause? My camera or something? But anyway, there's a great movie called Clear and Present Danger. Tom Clancy book. You can read the book. It's better than the movie, but if you don't have the time to read the book or don't want to read, watch the movie Clear and Present Danger, because that's what we're happening right now. That's what we're witnessing. And they're going to start murking sites soon for their processing. They're going to start blowing up processing labs. They're going to start taking out leaders of heads of cartels. That's what's going to happen. And you know what? It's about fucking time. It really is. No joke. Yeah, that's my dancer name, Jerk and Pause. Yeah, I like Trump, all right, but I do wish he'd cut out the hyperbolic bullshit he's always spouting. It's not really hyperbolic though, Julio. I mean, they've declared these groups as terrorist organizations. Once that's happened, they have the authority to kill the people. They're enemy combatants against the U.S. We're engaged in a drug war, and it's been a drug war, and it's been pronounced by Congress, declared it a drug war in the 1970s. He's just taking it seriously. I mean, we've done stuff like this in the past. I mean, we invaded Panama in the 90s, or 89. I'm sorry. In 89, we invaded Panama and took Noriega out of power because he was working for the cartels. Congress didn't approve that, and he did it. Nobody cried. So technically, if Trump wanted to, he could send troops to invade. You got 90 days. The War Powers Act gives him 90 days. He could go into Venezuela and take Maduro if he really wanted to. He can go into Cuba or Colombia, and take, he can go to Cuba too, but he can go into Colombia and take that president. The president threatened to murder him. Said, we'll take out Trump just like that. Okay. Personally, I don't care who the president is. If it was Obama and a president of another country said that guy got to go. Yeah. Panama is a good Van Halen song. Yeah.
All the way through. We know what these boats are. The president just said it. We track them from the very beginning. We know who's on them, who they are, where they're coming from, what they have on them. If you're running drug boats, you're in grave danger.
And drug usage is way down. And drug usage coming from the sea, they call it ocean drugs.
Ocean drugs.
Term that they use, the ocean drugs, is very close to non-existent right now. I wouldn't want to be in one of those boats heading away. They're driving happily to destroy the lives of people, and they end up.
Here
that's
it
the end of
comes, going downtown.
The ocean
Hot
drugs,
too, burning down the
sea
avenue.
drugs by
Hot
sea, they call
citizen.
it also. That's almost down to nothing.
I've never heard
as you
ocean
can
drugs.
imagine. So
Never
they
heard that
continue
term.
to come in by land at a little bit less because they see something is going to happen. They don't like it. They see something, and they're right. Something very serious is going to happen. The equivalent of what's happening by sea. And we're going to Congress just to tell them what we're doing, just to keep them informed. But we have to do it for national security. We have to do it to save lives.
They have to do it to save Billy Ocean. Yeah, Billy Ocean drugs. Yeah. Oh. I can't even think of the song I want to sing for Billy Ocean. But it's Billy Ocean. That was good. That was the 80s, man. Good time in the 80s. But anyway, yes, that's where we're at, man. That's where we're at with that stuff, It's crazy, 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 crazy times, man. Crazy times. And then like Luke Radowski says, looks like Trump will soon start dropping bombs in Venezuela. I think that's where this goes. I do. I think that's where this goes. I think we end up targeting them. Yeah, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, yeah. Going gets rough, and then Trump starts bombing the ocean drugs. So let's read the story here. We got a story here to read. Just in, U.S. strikes 8th drug boat in Pacific Ocean this time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, get out of my dreams, get into my car. Boom, 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 boom. Was that from Eddie Murphy movie? Was that from one of the Beverly Hills Cop movies? Years ago, I was in Costa Rica, and we were in a Cessna checking out surf, got grounded by the feds. They thought we were looking for or going to drop bales. It was crazy. That's what happens all the time. Yeah, dancing in the rain. Mm-hmm. Tren de Aragua boat blown to pieces by License to Drive. Was that the... You come in and sing Billy Ocean. Well, yeah, we were singing Billy Ocean in honor of the ocean drugs that Trump's blowing up. So the United States has reportedly executed its A strike against a drug trafficking vessel in the Pacific Ocean, west of South America. Since September, the Trump administration has launched 7 additional attacks on drug boats affiliated with Venezuela's Tren de Aragua, Caribbean Queen. Yeah, that was Billy Ocean. Yeah. Narco-trafficking gang. But unlike this latest strike, those were in the Caribbean Sea, east of Central America. Tuesday's attack comes as the White House announced that a drug-carrying submarine was destroyed in the Caribbean. It also comes as the United States ramps up its offensive against the Venezuelan Maduro regime, reportedly with B-52 nuclear bombers. They're not nuclear bombers. They're not. I mean, they could carry nuclear bombs, but they're not. And guided missiles destroyers, F-35B fighter jets, P-8 Poseidons, a nuclear submarine, and 6,500 troops. Griper, what's up, buddy? So Trump gives Argentina $40 billion, basically bails out Scott, Bassett, and Soros. The other globalists is one big club, and we ain't in it. Rep Joe Carlin. Yeah, the money going to Argentina is, I don't know. It's probably a payoff because he's helping us out with stuff, and he wants to keep that guy there in that part of the world. He's a friendly guy. The same with El Salvador's. Can't think of his name now. The president of El Salvador. So Argentina and Salvador's got right-wing-ish type people, so we're trying to... So Trump recently deployed the Army's Night Stalkers, an elite unit used in counterterrorism operations in Iraq and Afghanistan. While discussing this move with reporters, Trump said of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, he's offered everything to the United States, but he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Bukele. So at least 25,000 Americans would die if I allowed the submarine to come ashore, Trump said in a statement. The 2 surviving terrorists are being returned to their countries of origin, Ecuador and Colombia. One of the 2 surviving terrorists was reportedly hospitalized in Colombia after suffering brain trauma endured in the strike, according to Minister Armando Benedetti. Benedetti said he arrived with a brain trauma, sedated, drugged, and breathing on a ventilator. He will face prosecution in Colombia. The U.S. struck another drug vessel Tuesday night, this time in the Pacific side of South America. And what is the eighth known U.S. attack on a boat since September 2nd? 2 of the 3 individuals on board were killed. The other 7 strikes targeted vessels in the Caribbean. Yeah, the money came out of a currency stability fund or some name like that. I didn't even know our country had that. Yeah. We all died in a narco submarine. Yeah, the Beatles could do a great song like that. Yeah, that's right. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Thanks, Linda. That's right. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. At least 34 people have been killed in U.S. strikes on drug boats. The administration has told Congress that this U.S. is in a non-international armed conflict with drug cartels, arguing that narcotics they smuggle kill tens of thousands of Americans every year, and this constitutes an armed attack. The 2 men survived a U.S. strike on a drug vessel submarine last week, and the U.S. repatriated men, one from Ecuador and one from Colombia. Ecuador released a man identified as Andres Fernando Tofino after authorities said they had found no evidence he committed a crime. Well, the problem's going to be now for Ecuador is now that gives our government the ability to say Ecuador is participating in the drug trafficking. That's my opinion is part of the reason they sent them back there is because if they don't prosecute them, if they let them go, then the government is part of the drug trafficking operation. And Ecuador is a tiny little country that has a little bit of a history of participating in drug trafficking. Yeah. He was on a narco submarine, kind of criminal. Oh. It goes back a long way with these people and their governments and making money off drug trafficking, getting paid off and stuff. Mm-hmm. This is a developing story. Mm-hmm. Epoch Times, or no, this is Zero Hedge, I think. Zero Hedge says Ace drug boat, first time in Pacific waters, and what marks another expanse of the Trump-ordered anti-Venezuelan drug trafficking operation. The U.S. military on Tuesday night attacked another drug smuggling boat, this time on the Pacific side of South America. Oh, well, Rachel Boone, I appreciate you being here anyway. Hold on. Damn it. Why is this not working? All right. And what is the 8th known attack on a boat since September 2nd? 2 of the 3 individuals on board the vessel were killed. CBS News reported of the newly disclosed attack. The other 7 strikes were in the Caribbean, and this one was in so this one was off the coast, so they're probably coming out of Colombia and Ecuador, coming up, past Panama. Mm-hmm. You only heard the term the first time when they announced the currency swap, but yeah, I assume it's a payoff bailout system bribe. Yeah, it's more than likely some payoff bribe. I think it had to do with crypto, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe we were buying some of their crypto from them. I thought that's what I read. I don't know. It is what it is. Let's bring the total number dead to 34. The new attack strongly suggests the Pentagon might start going after boats elsewhere in the waters off South America, not just Venezuela. The White House's whole focus since these attacks started was Caracas and the rogue Maduro regime. This raises some obvious questions. If these are terrorists, as the U.S. has labeled them, then why quickly return them to their home countries? Well, like I said, the reason you return them is because, A, we don't have to deal with it, and we tell those countries what they did, and it's against the law in those countries, too, to be trafficking drugs, because it has to be against the law, because that's one of the requirements for them to get all the foreign aid from us, and we do give foreign aid to Ecuador and Colombia and stuff like that, and so they have to have these anti-drug policies because of the foreign aid. So, yeah. So if they don't prosecute them, then we can cut off the foreign aid as just the beginning salvo. It was my great honor to destroy a very large drug carrying submarine. Yeah, we saw that. Okay. The identities of 34 killed thus far remain unknown and shrouded in mystery. Yeah, no foreign aid to narco states. That's right. We need to cut it off. It's actually the exchange stabilization fund to prevent a run on the dollar and exchange rate markets. Okay. Well, we should stop giving them aid. Yes, we should cut off all aid. But we pay them a lot of money to get them to try to do things we want. But more than likely, more often than not, they just screw us over and steal the money anyway and don't do what they're supposed to. Yeah. And this is like, I just want to show you, we're not going to get too deep into this. We've just got a couple more stories. U.S. bombs a suspected drug trafficking boat in Eastern Pacific, killing 2 smugglers. So, CIA is doing recon, boat strikes, everything you need to know.
But they're not faster than missiles.
A threat to expand U.S. anti-drug military operations from sea to land.
President Trump has been very clear and consistent. He's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice.
And now a dramatic escalation, authorizing the CIA to engage in clandestine anti-government operations inside the South American country.
President Trump is going to do whatever it takes and use all the tools in the toolkit from the intelligence community, from the Department of War, and of course diplomatically to defend U.S. sovereignty.
What is going on with Venezuela and Trump's armed conflict with the country's drug cartels? Here's everything you need to know. In August, President Trump secretly authorized the U.S. military to use force against Latin American drug cartels, classified as foreign terrorist organizations. One of the gangs included in the classification list was Tren de Aragua, one of Venezuela's most dangerous criminal organizations. Gangbangers from the Venezuelan group made headlines in the U.S. in 2024 when suspected members unleashed chaos at a Colorado apartment complex and sparked a wave of violent crime. In a show of force to combat the cartels, which Trump blames for flooding American communities with fentanyl and other illicit drugs, the administration sent U.S. warships into Venezuelan waters.
A combination of 2 major factors have come into this that have why this has stepped up. Because the drug flow, Maduro, Tren de Aragua, this is not news. This has been going on. It's a narco state. But what is news, we have a president that has now put the drug trade and fentanyl and what's coming into the country as a #1 priority. Number 2, this Tren de Aragua issue is real. Maduro is in the drug business, in the narco business. So there is an interest here among the parties to solve political pressure on Maduro in the country while giving Tren de Aragua access to the United States to set up like M13 and M19 and the other organizations that are here from Central America. What has changed is a difference in policy that is really going to try to step this up for the United States.
But Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro wasn't happy with the U.S. deployment, calling it an illegal regime change attempt. 2 Venezuelan military aircraft even flew over a U.S. Navy ship, conducting counter-drug operations in the area, in what the Pentagon described as a highly provocative move.
But I would say, General, if they do that, you have a choice of doing anything you want, okay? If they fly in a dangerous position, I would say that you can, you or your captains can make the decision as to what they want to do, all right?
How close did they get?
Whoa.
Well, I don't want to talk about that, but if they do...
Well, here's the thing, too. Like, if they fly over your ship like that, if they fly above a ship, generally speaking, you warn them off, and if they get on your ship, and if they have any type of active pinging, tracking radar or anything like that on, the ship would take defensive maneuvers, which would include firing upon the airplane. So I don't think, and that's just if the plane is like on a track coming at the boat and it's like getting close enough. If it's in range to where it has, Exocet ship, anti-ship missiles or anything like that on it that could hit the ship. It would be standard operating procedure in the Navy that you're going to light that fucking plane up. We don't let that happen, ever. So that's why when they're saying like, you don't let them get close enough to launch those missiles. When they say they flew overhead, if we let them basically do a buzz on a plane on a ship, they buzzed our ships. I would be shocked if they let that happen. I really would. Hey, Costa Rican expat says, I've been getting up at 4 a.m. flying back to the U.S. Well, gonna be nice to see you back in the U.S.
Put us in a dangerous position. They'll be shut down.
Trump has been critical of Maduro's leadership and doesn't recognize the dictator as legitimate.
Yeah,
this past summer, the administration placed a $50 million
Hey, what's up, Big Howard? How you doing
leader's
tonight?
head to face outstanding
Don't touch
drug
our
charges
boats.
in New York.
Never
According
touch our
to one
boats.
survey exclusively shared with the Post, most Venezuelans don't even consider Maduro legitimately elected after the dictator stole the country's past
They're
two
saying
elections.
that's what they're saying,
Reports
that they
have even
flew
started
over, but I don't
circulating
think
that
they.
Maduro is training
Yeah.
civilians in the country for a militia to combat Trump's threats. According
Modern
to
Navy
reports
doctrine
from
is
AFP,
straight. Yeah, but you
thousands
can't let
of
your
citizens
ship
were
be in
seen
danger of being
Caracas
sunk.
receiving a day of lessons on weapons handling and
You don't
other
wait until
revolutionary
we don't wait
resistance
until they
tactics
fire a
in
missile
response
at
to
a
Trump's
ship to do
warship
something.
deployment.
You,
Trump even shared
if they
video
look
on
like
Truth
they're gonna
Social of
do
an
you
alleged
harm, you're
Venezuelan
supposed to
militia training
defend
event
yourself.
with the caption, "Top secret, we caught the Venezuelan militia in training," a very serious threat. Though unclear whether the president was being sarcastic or was sharing genuine concern, the video focused in on an overweight woman running with an AK-style rifle.
Overweight
during
woman?
the
You call that an
supposed
overweight
civilian
woman?
training. But the Trump administration has not been all talk and no action on the South American country's drug smugglers. On September 2nd,
Yeah,
Trump
5
made a
miles is
dramatic and
close.
unexpected announcement to the press
That's
in
what
the
I'm saying.
Oval Office on the dispute
But the way the
between
news
two
was
nations.
trying to
When
portray
you
it was
come
like
out
they
and
flew
when you
over
leave
the top
room,
of the
you'll see
ships.
that, we
You would
just,
never let that happen.
over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that, and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago, and
In a subsequent post on Truth Social, the president published a video of the attack.
61 miles is there.
asserting
Yeah,
that
within
Trapp's
100
occupants were
miles of
members
our
the
ships is
Tren de
when we
Aragua
start getting.
criminal gang.
There's a
This
problem.
attack or the sinking of this particular ship, that was significant, but the significance of the type of military.
Any airplane within 100 miles, if it has the
engagement and
capability to
stepping
launch
up of
anti-ship
our
missiles,
Navy
is a
particularly
problem within
in
100
the
miles.
region is an indication that we are prepared to draw maybe attacks in Venezuela proper and take out certain facilities. We used to use the phrase a long time ago in Washington is flexing our military muscles, and that's what we're doing.
And that was only the beginning of Trump's conflict with the cartels and the U.S., flexing its military muscles. In the subsequent weeks, the Trump administration continued their defensive maneuvers, wiping out more than half a dozen drug smuggling vessels at sea in coordinated strikes.
The president's been very clear that he's going to use the full power of America and the full might of the United States to take on and eradicate these drug cartels, no matter where they're operating from and no matter.
So yeah, we bombed another suspected vessel. And the deadly assault which took place Tuesday was a strike. We saw this. So, and then Fox News is the same thing. I don't want to dwell too long on it. You guys get the point. U.S. carries out a strike on alleged drug vessel, Hexa says. Eastern Pacific. And the same thing on the AP. I just like to show you guys that it's not, I don't get my stories from just one place. You know, this time in the Pacific Ocean. Hexa, that's not a guy to fuck with, I'd say. He's not playing. So yeah, so. All right, now we're going to go on to the next story. But the modern doctrine is showing strength by not attacking inside 4 or 5 miles, shows control, discipline. That shows retardation, if you ask me. Unfortunately, this morning, the Minnesota Supreme Court has, at the urging of Waltz, Ellison, and Minnesota Democrats, ruled that it is illegal public accommodation discrimination to have women's or girls' sports division that excludes males based on sex. That's true. Yeah. As a fellow girl dad, I'm very disappointed that Tim Walt's administration is fighting to destroy the safety and fairness of women's sports right now. The Minnesota Supreme Court has ruled that girls and women's sports to be unlawfully based on a male powerlifter's claim that excluding him from competing against women violated the state's public accommodation law. As with the ACLU's repeated advocacy on behalf of male rapists and murderers who seek to be housed with female prisoners, this is a movement that acts without restraint or any concern for optics at all. It knows that no argument of brazen absurdity can cause any of the legal or political elites captured by this movement's dogmas to say no to any of their demands. It's up to the public to act as a check. Yeah, this is the man that wants to compete against women and the powerlifters, and he was mad that they wouldn't let him. Mm-hmm. This is not a Chris Farley skit. This is an actual ruling by the High Court of Minnesota. Mm-hmm. They let a man win world titles and set a record in women's swimming because he was a woman. Yeah, this is the woman that said he was a woman and just put some eyeliner on and did something to win titles in swimming. Title IX will only apply to school sports. The leagues unconnected to schools will still be bound by Minnesota's court rulings unless the legislature changed the law. These judges don't deserve your respect. SCOTUS will soon be hearing a couple of cases involving males and female sports, very likely siding with females. Will states like Minnesota abide by the ruling? Federal law supersedes state law, but where trans, queer ideologies involved, nothing seems certain. Title IX will only apply to school sports. The leagues unconnected to schools will still be bound by Minnesota's court rulings unless the legislatures change the law. We don't know yet what SCOTUS will say on the matter. Title IX is exclusively about sports. It's about discrimination by sex when a school accepts federal funds. Will they only rule on sports, or will they really provide guidance on how to implement Title IX in general? Yeah, see, like this one. You're a man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as Andrew Branca says, the progressive fascists love women so much that they just eliminated women's sports in Minnesota. Win for the ladies, I guess. Who cares if he's mad? Will Bondi step in? They'll step in. It's ma'am. Yeah. That was a strapping young lady, wasn't it? So here's the story from the Brainerd Dispatch from Brainerd, Minnesota. Minnesota Supreme Court rules that USA Powerlifting discriminated against transgender athletes, sends the case back. Court says ban on transgender women and women's division violates state human rights law, but sends part of the case back to the district court. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Minnesota Supreme Court sided with the transgender athletes on Wednesday, arguing that J.C. Cooper of Minneapolis was discriminated against based on gender identity, violating Minnesota's Human Rights Act, but sent part of the case back to the court. The unanimous ruling comes 4 years after Cooper, then 35, sued USA Powerlifting in 2021, alleging the organization engaged in discriminatory practices by prohibiting her from competing in 2019. This should have got removed to federal court. Oh, we're going to have a little video here to play.
Minnesota's highest court delivered a win for transgender athletes.
I can see they got trans people to talk about it too.
Lower court. The Minnesota Supreme Court sided with powerlifter J.C. Cooper, saying USA Powerlifting discriminated against her by banning trans women from competing in the women's division. Advocates say the decision could also set the stage for broader protections in schools and other sports programs across Minnesota.
It affirms what we know to be true, which is, first of all, Minnesota is a leader in transgender rights. And also, trans people belong in sports and in every other space in our world.
Meanwhile, USA Powerlifting calls it a partial win for both sides because the ruling means the company will get to argue that transgender women have an unfair strength advantage in powerlifting. And in a statement to WDAY News, Republican House Speaker Lisa Dameth says today's ruling is a setback for fairness and safety in competition.
Ah. In March 2024, the Minnesota Court of Appeals sent the case back to the Ramsey County District Court before the Supreme Court decided to take up the case. The Court of Appeals agreed with the District Court's original ruling that Cooper was discriminated against based on gender, violating the Human Rights Act, but said there was issues of material fact as to whether the decision was based on the transgender identity. The Supreme Court reversed part of that ruling for the appellate court. Because powerlifting facially discriminatory policy provides direct evidence of discriminatory motive, there's no genuine issue of material fact as to whether Cooper's status actually motivated the powerlifting decision. Yes. It's a him, not a her. This is Cash App. Let me see. Thank you so much. Miss makes my blood boil. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Oh, and everyone can see Bella's got her little toy there. See? Do I need to do anything? Myself. All right, I look good, right? How's Bella look? Oh, I forgot. Thank you very much, Ag, for the $25 on Cash App. Let me see. Over this way a little. Over this way a little. Zoom in a little. There we go. Quick, I better hide the wires. Yeah, I don't want anyone to see her, but she's got her little toy there, so everyone will be happy tonight. Bella. Oh yeah, and with that, that means we're 50 away from Bellavision. From an additional hour. That was our first donation of the night. I'm late. You both look great. That rhymes. You're always on time. So we therefore reverse part of the decision. Chief Judge Natalie Hudson wrote, "Oh, look at the Chief Judge. What do you know?" Supreme Court also sent part of the case back for potential trial. It ruled that the District Court went too far in granting summary judgment on whether Powerlifting's argument that competitive fairness in Atlantic competition satisfies legitimate business purpose for defense for sex discrimination. On Cooper's motion for summary judgment, viewing the facts in the light most favorable to USA Powerlifting, as we must conclude that there is a genuine dispute of material fact as to whether USA Powerlifting's blanket policy has a legitimate business purpose. Of course it has a legitimate business purpose. In 2023 legislative session, the DFL trifecta added gender identity to protections under the MHRA. Previously, the MHRA was limited to sex and sexual orientation discrimination. Yeah. She can open a bottle with those teeth. A can too, probably. You can open a can of soup with those teeth. How's that? Yeah, look at gender justice advocates hold a virtual press conference. In a virtual press conference, Jess Braverman. Somebody's Braverman. Hey, what's up, Foxblade? How you doing? Braverman explained the court looked at two claims, discrimination in public accommodation and discrimination in business. She said Cooper won for public accommodation, that if the business claim goes to the trial of the lower courts, the ruling on public accommodation would not unravel in any case. I don't know of any sports organization that's in a business but not a public accommodation. We just brought the case under two alternative theories. We don't need both. We won on the public accommodations. Yeah, get all the firewood you want with those teeth. Larry Maley, the former president of Powerlifting, said in a statement, the organization is pleased that we have prevailed on one of the claims and disappointed in the other findings. When fairness is the foundation of sport, categories matter. Yeah, I would think that they're going to be able, this should be a federal matter anyway, because they operate across state lines, the business in multiple states. Otherwise, they could just go, you know what, we won't operate in Minnesota anymore. That's what I would do. I'd be like, that's fine. We're just going to pull out of Minnesota. We won't have any things in Minnesota. Have a nice day. That Minnesota is trending against both federal law and broad public consensus. Minnesota Speaker of the House called the Wednesday's decision a setback for girls' sports. She said her colleagues plan to take up the issue in the first weeks of the next legislative session. When Republicans held a brief majority in the House, a bill to bar transgender women in girls' sports failed on the House floor. Women's and girls fought tirelessly for rights guaranteed under Title IX. Sadly, those hard-won protections have increasingly come under attack. Today's decision marks another setback in the fight to protect girls' sports. This issue is ultimately about safety and fairness, and Minnesotans overwhelmingly agree that their daughters and granddaughters should not be forced to compete against boys. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard about that chess guy. He was young, too. Danya Narodsky. Yeah, I saw that story. He was pretty young, too. House Leader Harry Niska echoed Demus, saying the ruling has sweeping implications for girls' sports. Yeah, 29. Yeah, really young. House Republicans saw this coming and tried to take action. Unfortunately, the Democrats blocked those efforts at every turn. It's now incumbent on Democrats to set aside partisan politics and join us in protecting the future of girls' sports. Yes, thank you for Bella. It's unclear how the ruling could apply to school sports, but Braverman said it's pretty clear the ruling would apply to all sports that are considered public accommodations. I think a school wanting to discriminate would have a very difficult time explaining why the Cooper ruling doesn't apply to schools. I don't even know, given the court's ruling, I'm not even sure how they would go about making that argument. Well, it's called the federal fucking government controls the schools. You know, you're getting into equal protection clause problems. Mm-hmm. Cooper has not made a public statement, but Braverman said Wednesday that she will need time to process the ruling. I mean, he will. Yeah, Minnesota is completely corrupt. The more you dig, the more corruption you find. Move over, Whiskey a Go-Go. We got a silver a Gaga. I'm going to go on the record and say this guy's computer had some shit on it that would put him in prison. Look at that face. He's got some shit on his computer. The ruling is significant, in my opinion. The ruling is significant for the trans community. It affirms what we know to be true, that they're men, and that they don't belong in women's sports. Minnesota has an ongoing lawsuit against the Trump administration alleging two of the administration's executive order on transgender individuals violate their state laws. Oh, well, that's the difference between federal law and state laws, dummies. Yeah, while the proceedings of the suit are on pause due to the government shutdown, the U.S. Department of Education recently issued a warning to Minnesota that federal funds are at risk if their high school league does not comply with federal transgender policies. In July, the U.S. Supreme Court agreed to take up the question of two federal lawsuits from Idaho and West Virginia on whether Title IX protects transgender athletes. It doesn't. It protects by sex, not made-up sex in your brain. Hey, we've been going an hour, and, we got like 100 people watching. Yeah, like 103 people watching on YouTube, and bunch of other people. So please hit the like button if you haven't already. And if you haven't subscribed, please think about subscribing. I do try to do these shows every night. Sometimes I miss a night here or there, but I try to do them every night. Oh, yeah. That would be nice if you used to do. You see patterns? Anyway, so yeah, public pressure for a special session on gun control. Look at that creep, Tim Waltz. Look at that hair. Look at that face. Yeah, over 100 school board members urge Minnesota leaders to comply with federal transgender athlete policy. Let's see here. We got another story, basically. Same This one's from the, what the hell? God, disabled ad blockers to get this to work. And so basically, it's the same thing. So the Minnesota Supreme Court sided with transgender athletes on Wednesday. Unanimous ruling comes 4 years after the suit. So I think we already read. This is the one we already read. Basically the same story, just printed somewhere else. So it's the same story, just printed somewhere else. All right, so now we're going to jump into some crazy shit. Basically, this is going to be what I'll call this next section of the show, the ongoing seditious conspiracy being perpetrated on our federal government and our president by demon rats. Let's call them. We'll call them demon rats. All right. Mm-hmm. Do I know about the corruption at the Minnesota State Fair? I'm sure it's pretty corrupt. Yeah, if biology doesn't matter, and people clinically lycanthrope are actually the animals they think they are. Cotard syndrome means that those people are actually undead walking about. Yeah. Well, that's what they want to happen. You know, wow, anti-ICE protesters in LA issue a threat to ICE agents saying ICE is not the only one with guns. The demon rat rhetoric demonizing ICE is responsible for this.
Don't forget where you're standing. This is South Central Los Angeles. They are not the only ones with guns in this city. They're not the only ones, and don't forget that. And I don't say that because we're calling for violence. I'm saying that because the people have every right to defend themselves against masked, unidentified gunmen with AR-15s and other military rifles. The people have every right to defend themselves.
Oh. Yeah. Update. He's been identified as a teacher. It's always a teacher. Yeah. The anti-ICE protester who threatened ICE in LA has been identified as Ron Gochez, a teacher at Maya Angelou California High School or Community High School, whatever. Mm-hmm. Gochez was also awarded the Human Rights Award by the California Teachers Association. This teacher, who is paid by your tax dollars, is out threatening the lives of ICE agents and protecting criminal aliens. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Crazy. His actions epitomize the dangerous alliance between activism and educators. The dangerous alliance between activist educators and anti-enforcement extremism. Threatening federal agents while taxpayer funded isn't human rights advocacy. It's sedition. It is. We need to start arresting these people for seditious conspiracy. That's what needs to happen. It really is. It really needs to happen. Yeah, hit the like button. Yeah, and we wonder why our children are so misguided. Yeah, because this is who's teaching them. The California Teachers Association's decision to honor him proves that radical bureaucrats prioritize open borders over public safety. ICE agents enforce laws passed by Congress. Resisting them isn't resistance. It's lawlessness. Gochez's rhetoric directly fuels the violence against officers that we saw in LA, where National Guard deployment became necessary to restore order. Taxpayers shouldn't subsidize educators who incite chaos instead of teaching civics. What do you mean the chat has stopped? It stopped for you? There's no chat? What's wrong? I don't think the chat stopped. Just people aren't really, doesn't look like there's a lot of people in the chat, maybe. I don't know. There's 99 people watching, and I am one. Mm-hmm. Isn't violating the Constitution based also a form of sedition? This idiot. Violating the Constitution far worse than resisting attacking a system. The difference matters. Threatening officers enforcing congressional law is sedition because it targets the legitimate authority. Constitutional violations eliminate that authority entirely. Both undermine the rule of law. I've been warning about this domestic terrorist since the beginning of the summer when his organization went from 0 to 60. Yeah, the chat goes on. It's rolling again. Yeah, here we are. Yeah. He was wishing the cops when they arrested him. And Terry, what's up? Yeah. Any updates on Ron Gochez, the leader of the Community Self-Defense Coalition in Los Angeles? This is a problem. All early warnings about this guy has been scrubbed. If you search for Ron Gochez and click on the latest scroll, you'll find lots of posts, but the links have been scrubbed. We went to the Wayback to find archives and no success. Yeah. Yeah, the Reconquista Aztlan separatist speech. This is from 2009 by Ron Gochez, rally students, protesters. The Legal Northern Front Revolution. What do you know? Yeah, so they want a reconquest. This guy's talking about the reconquest. Huh. That's odd. That would be directly, yeah. This guy ran for office. He should be arrested, and he's a high school teacher. And then we got another person that needs to be arrested immediately for sedition. Should be arrested immediately for sedition. We're launching a portal to review federal immigration enforcement in New York after yesterday's ICE raid on Canal Street. That's not how any of this works. You claim that you know how the law works, lady, and you think somehow it's up to you to review federal immigration enforcement in New York? That's way outside your purview. You have no authority over immigration enforcement. Zero, zilch, none. New Yorkers who were present shouldn't submit videos or photos. We will review them to investigate violations of the law. What law? Your law has no power here. You have no power here, Gandalf the Gay. I got a video for you, the Cabell Street raid. Oh, wait, this is when you raided it this time last year. Yeah. So this was last year when she raided it.
Got them on.
I saw him.
So when her cops go and arrest the people illegally selling stuff, that's fine. But when we go and, hey, they're illegal aliens, we're going to arrest them. That's different. Seems odd, doesn't it? Seems a little odd. Oh, the fat lady doth protest too much. Huh. Very interesting, right? And in the words of Mike Davis, fuck off, Big Tish. These are federal officers enforcing federal law. You can't do a damn thing. In addition to mortgage fraud, we'll put Big Fat Tish's ass in prison for harboring, obstruction, and conspiracy. Yeah, conspiracy to sedition. Seditious conspiracy. Democrats are traitors to this country. They are. They're all traitors. Traitors. Traitorous scum. We got another one for the seditious conspiracy thing. We got this New York Senator, Yulia Salazar. ICE terrorized and abducted our neighbors in Chinatown. They arrested bystanders, pulled out their machine guns, and more. Mayor Adams shamefully deployed the NYPD Strategic Response Group alongside ICE agents. ICE raided Chicago's Canal Street on Tuesday afternoon, detaining several street vendors in an operation that drew immediate and fierce backlash from bystanders and immigration advocates. maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe I'm a little too Pinochet, but I would arrest all these women and charge every one of them with seditious conspiracy because they obviously were sent there. They obviously have some app or something. This is all happening. I don't know. Yes, this is live. Snarf, what's up? How you doing? Yeah. Bunch of idiots need arresting too. Yeah. Arrest them all. Charge them all with seditious conspiracy. Have 20 years hanging over their head because they're trying to overthrow the government. They're trying to stop the government from functioning. They're interfering with the functional government activity. I don't know. Arrest them all. You know, go raid their houses at 5 a.m., kick down their doors. That's what's going on. All right. Then you got another one. ICE and DHS arrived in armored vehicle to terrorize our neighbors. They pointed guns at bystanders. They kidnapped street vendors trying to survive in the city. They didn't kidnap anybody. They arrested illegal aliens, which they have the absolute right to do under federal law. Yeah. Loudmouth Karens making money for their annoying LARPing. Let me get some nachos. Okay. They sow chaos to keep us from organizing. But when we stand up to their violence, they back down. No, they don't. No, they don't. They're going to take them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got this. In a disgusting move, demon rats are about to create a master ICE tracker on an official government website to track the movements and activities of agents. And even Jessica Tarloff on the 5 couldn't defend them because of the neighborhood. We'll be tracking every single instance we can verify, and the community will send us information. Flood it with fake info. Do not let them get away with targeting federal agents. Right? Everyone standing here, arrest them. Arrest them. They tried to go after Trump for saying peacefully protest. They said it was an insurrection and he was a seditious conspiracy. They're telling you that they're trying to overthrow the government right here and stop the government from functioning. Arrest them.
I shared this with the mayor. Over the course of the next couple of weeks, the Oversight Committee will be launching on their website a master ICE tracker where we're going to be essentially tracking every single instance that we can verify that the community will be able to send us information on. I shared this with the mayor. Over the course of the next...
And the Republicans control the House. So there's no fucking way that this Democrat could do any fucking thing without the Republicans letting him. They can stop him. So if this happens, the Republicans let it happen. Just remember that. California Democrats creating an ICE tracker is pure obstructionism. Exactly the kind of sabotage that undermines federal law enforcement. This isn't oversight. It's taxpayer-funded hit job on agents doing their job. Pam Bondi's DOJ already shut down similar apps for endangering officers, yet Garcia and Bass doubled down, weaponizing bureaucracy to protect criminal aliens. Yeah, that's the same bitch talking back to Trump during the LA fires. Yep. That can't be legal. I don't think it's legal. Yeah. It's all a dance. They're all funded by AIPAC. Except for the ones that are funded by IPAC. Mm-hmm. You know what IPAC is? Take the A off. Look it up. Their community reporting scheme invites chaos, putting targets on ICE while ignoring the 170-plus U.S. citizens unlawfully detained by ICE? What? Real Transparency released the Epstein files. Who the fuck is writing Doge AI? You got a fucking problem. Chrissy Nome says that in the wake of violent domestic terror attacks, bounties, and more than 1,000% increase in assaults against our ICE officers, radical sanctuary politicians are now building a master ICE tracker to solicit and share information on the movements of our ICE officers. Let's call it what it is, a pipeline that will funnel information on American law enforcement directly in the hands of anarchists, domestic terrorists, and cartel members. I'm working with Pam Bondi to ensure that any individual who doxes, threatens, or assaults our law enforcement officers will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I think that what the congressman thinks, they think they'll be able to get around this by the speech and debate clause, but it's not the speech and debate clause when it's an app on their website. Oh. Thank you, Karen, for the $10. Thank you very much. And with that, we are now $40 away from the first additional hour. Thank you very much. Check the ghetto. Nothing there. No one has done more to harm America than demon rats. That's right. Nachos and salsa is on the way. Well, that's good. Bay Area Rapid Transit. Democrats have shut down BART crime reporting app because they claim it was racist. Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, that's why they said they can't. There's places where, sanctuary politician weaponizing data against ICE officers and oversight and sabotage. Master ICE tracker isn't transparency. It's a hit list for cartels and anarchists. DHS reports 1,000% spike in assaults with agents' families terrorized by doxing mobs shouting, La Migra lives here. The Protecting Law Enforcement from Doxing Act provides malicious intent matters. Publishing Fed officers' IDs to obstruct enforcement isn't free speech. It's a felony. Bondi's right. Throw the book at these domestic terrorists. ICE isn't the problem. It's the last line against MS-13 and Tren de Aragua thugs. Protect the protectors. We got another New York City politician saying, these actions by Trump's ICE don't make New Yorkers safer. Yeah, they do. They only undermine public safety, waste our tax dollars, and create chaos in communities. This is federal overreach and abuse of power. Must stop. Hands off New York City. These Democrats sound exactly like the Democrats sounded in 1865. Or 1864, 1863, wherever you want to start. That this is why is a Chicago Tribune reporter telegraphing the location of federal law enforcement? Community report. ICE is on 26th Street by El Milagro. Oh, that's a great place to get tortillas and stuff. The heart of Chicago's Mexican community in the little village. So they're reporting where ICE is. This is a community report. So it's a reporter, but he's participating in, yes, I now have a taste for nachos. I haven't had nachos in a while. And we got this guy. Leftist terrorist communist slug in Santa Ana, California, is planting Apple AirTags on ICE vehicles so he can track them. Minnesota is reporting ICE movements on Reddit too. Here's the thing, if something was to happen, if someone was to get hurt or injured or anything like that, there's people that are doing the tracking could be charged as co-conspirators. Accessories.
This is an Apple AirTag. What I've been doing is trying to get these on their vehicles so that way I can track where they're at and let people know before they get there. By the time we see a video on the internet, it's already too late. We got to start early. We got to send up signals, start notifying people so that nobody gets taken. So again, right now, I'm not trying to engage
Joe, what's
with
up?
them. On
That's
the
right.
side
Time to
note,
lock
most of
all
them are
these people
lazy,
up.
untrained, just freaking weirdos. But away from that, I'm not trying to fight them or engage with them. I'm trying to track them. And at least maybe if they find these on their cars, it'll scare the heck out of them and let them know that people are watching. So yeah, man, I'm headed back through Santa Ana, back through the Home Depots, man. Let's go. Let's get it, baby. United we stand. This is an Apple AirTag. What I've been doing is trying to...
Yeah. Well, this guy is committing a felony. Video was submitted by this guy. Pretty sure it's him. MPC Donuts. Oh, what do you know? DJ Quest. Battle of the LA DJ Champ 2014. Yes, it's illegal to electronically track a federal vehicle without authorization, as we consider an illegal search and violation of privacy. Both federal laws and 14th Amendment protection against unauthorized electronic surveillance, and law enforcement must obtain a warrant based on probable cause and place a GPS tracker for a vehicle. For private citizens, it's illegal to track a vehicle they do not own, even if it's a company or federal vehicle, without permission. It's a federal felony. And so they scream and cry while ICE does their job. That's having none of it. Trump's Nazi Gestapo have them come to Canal Street, New Yorkers, to kidnap residents, and New Yorkers are having none of it. New Yorkers are having none of it. Well, let's see. Yeah, your iPhone will tell you if something's near you that's been following you. Anyone who has an iPhone. Yeah, it's thank goodness for idiots who commit felonies on camera. Sure is. Arrest them all! 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 We saw most of this stuff, I think, already. This was like cut together, I guess, from something we already saw. So we'll move on. And it's not just New York, it's happening other places too. You know, here we have a Portland liaison officer outside of an ICE facility says it's the First Amendment right for rioters to shut down traffic on the road. He says officers will not remove rioters from the street. So they have a right to stop traffic, according to the Portland police. They have a right to basically kidnap you. Anyone who keeps you from moving that's a unlawful, unlawful restraint, kidnapping, unlawful arrest, whatever you want to call it. Anyone. But here we got this. Look at this. This is clearly an Antifa dude who is now a cop.
Why are we allowing them to block the streets?
Yes.
So it's a delicate balance of people's First Amendment rights and then, allowing cars to move through. This is not a one-way situation. There are other ways to get people from McAdam off and on McAdam. So as of right now, we're not going to enact anything to prevent people from being in the roadway while they're practicing their First Amendment right. We are asking them to not be in the street if they can. That may change, but as of right now, they're allowed to take up the street space because they're practicing their First Amendment right to protest. We don't want to infringe on that right when there's not a major issue of cars coming to hit them. Because this is not a major roadway right here. And people can get around them easily.
Okay.
And they're also having their own workers to help guide traffic out of the way.
Okay. In the past, I know, in the 2020 riots, people were being arrested. Or maybe it was riots before that. But I know in the past there were, I think maybe after Trump was elected in 2016, I attended some events that were going on, in the downtown area. And it was a very hard line about if you step off of the sidewalk, you will be arrested. So has the policy changed or?
I don't know. So again, it's not like people couldn't get arrested for being in the street. We're just not going to arrest people for being in the street right now. If we're ever going to do that, we will make an announcement. Hey, we are going to make arrests for people who are in the street. Anyone that wants to leave the street can leave the street, and they won't be arrested. This is not an issue. This is not a major roadway for us, right? There are ways for people to get around there are corkers that the protesters are providing to move traffic. So that's alleviating a lot of that issue.
Is that a decision that the mayor is making, or
I think we're making this at a day-by-day, minute-by-minute basis.
who's making the decision?
Our CMIC, so our commander of this incident right now.
Who is that?
I don't know who that is by name.
I don't know who it
know that
is,
we
but
have-
someone's in charge.
Is it Bob Day or?
No, so the chief doesn't necessarily run every single one of these. He will have like a commander, a captain, or somebody in a position that will do that and then relay the information to him, because he doesn't need to be doing all of that stuff. He's doing other things, managing other stuff.
So does the CMIC answer to Bob Day then?
Yes, everyone at the end of the day will answer to him,
Answers to
because he's
Bob.
the chief of police.
Okay.
At the end of the day, he's the one that needs to rubber stamp everything. But again, just like any organization,
He's the one who needs to rubber stamp everything.
The CEO, right, in that sense, isn't making every day-to-day thing. They have an overarching thing, and they're making sure that the people that are under them have the ability to make decisions on their own without having to check in with them, because they believe that they're making the right decision.
I see. Okay. So does Bob Day answer to the mayor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So ultimately, the mayor is at the top of the hierarchy as far as all decisions here.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Because the mayor is like the head of the state.
So if the mayor said you need to not let people be in the street at all, you guys would carry that out and make
We would
arrests.
figure out the most like equitable way to carry out that.
I see. Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
He's fabulous. It's a
we
committee
tried to
decision.
Do like a women's rights free speech event in Portland a couple of years ago, and we were told by city leadership that we would have to purchase like it was like thousands of dollars in permits and like insurance and all this stuff. And so, does Antifa have a permit or insurance?
So I wouldn't say these people are Antifa. I don't know. They haven't told us who they are. Right?
I mean, come
on. I know.
I'm related to Bin Laden and Pol Pot. The government called me Timothy McVeigh,
So
and I've been to North Korea.
I would say that
And our
the people
federal
that are
government
here.
is evil, and our local government is incompetent. This motherfucker could not get a car out of traffic, and he's too big of a bitch to do anything while I punk him right now. They're incompetent. All we have is our.
Can you make arrests for disorderly conduct?
Yeah, and so we have in the past,
Fuck
right?
the police.
But we're not necessarily
You
going to do it all the
motherfuckers
time.
are
We want to be
stupid.
sparing on when we're
You
enacting
only
certain
go
things.
after the jaywalkers,
And so-
right? Because they detained the jaywalkers.
We only go after a dad
for
bod
nothing
that's
else
15
but
years younger than me.
jaywalking.
I
Nothing
didn't
else
get
but
a fucking
jaywalking.
dad bod till I was fucking 40.
Oh my God. Look at these fucking people. This is who's on. This is what's going on, man. This is who we're dealing with. This is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. Portland police are aiding and abetting terrorists. Charge them. Yeah. That guy will be getting a promotion soon. Yeah. Yeah, the white shirts are liaison officers, not law enforcement. Yeah, they got a lot of liaison officers. They liaise with the terrorists. Watch. Portland police just provided cover to Antifa terrorists at Portland who are beaming spotlights in DHS eyes. Yes. And shielding them from DHS. They are literally aiding a terrorist group. DHS agent that came out and confronted Portland police, calling them out for allowing terrorists to hide behind them. She's literally running behind you guys. DH said. Portland police pretended like they saw nothing, although they were standing just 15 feet away from the assailants, which DHS has marked with countless pepper balls. The lasers over the course of several minutes. I was there 3 times the distance away, and even I saw what was going on. Something must be done with Portland police now. All right, you guys ready to see this? Ready for brisk?
Nice aim. I love that. Whoa. Get the
They're shining something in the. They're hiding behind the sign. And they're running for cover behind Portland police. Oh my God. You've got to be kidding me.
It's kind of wild. Shoot everybody else to shoot one person.
The bullets you got. Come on.
shining the light when you get mad at somebody else.
We should be allowed to hear what the fuck they're talking
Nobody
about.
told us anything, so we're standing there. We don't know what's
Oh
going
my
on.
God, is this the truth?
So it's just like she's literally running behind you guys. Yeah, and we don't know why she's running. So.
Nice. Nice aim. I love that. Whoa. Get the That AR is really nice.
Yeah, but the guy they don't know what's going on. Yep.
Well, they were trying to shoot a guy that was running away.
Yep, the cops shield him. Yep. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It really is. Mm-hmm. Yet the same Portland police officer threatened to have a female driver arrested when she attempted to drive on the road. Yeah, Portland tells a female driver she can't drive on the road because it's being occupied by the far left Antifa rioters. She's instructed to back up and go another way. Ready?
You guys didn't do anything about this? What are you doing? That way! Do not go to the crowd of people! If you go to this crowd of people, you will be stopped and arrested! Thank you! Do not try to play that game with me right now! Nick, do not play that game with me right now! We're not going to a crowd of people in this car! Back it up and take a left! If you go to this crowd of people, you will be arrested!
Wow, that's a liaison officer.
I'm telling you, if you go to this crowd of people, you will be arrested!
Get out of the way, I'll take care of it. Get out of the way, I'll take care of it. I'll do everything. Get out of the way.
You're not going to be
I'll take care of it, I'll take care of it.
back up and take a left. You can get through the gap that way.
This is what you call anarcho-tyranny. You have the cops threatening.
If you're not going to listen to my orders, then
Yeah,
it's
that's
your
the
choice.
same guy.
I am giving you an order right now. Back this vehicle.
I'm giving you an order right now that you can't go where you need to go because there's terrorists blocking the streets and we're with them. So we'll arrest you if you try to go about your business and do your normal travels. There's this thing in the Constitution called freedom to travel. She's just traveling. And these fucking road pirates are trying to stop her.
It is a public road, but right now there are people occupying it.
There's people occupying it.
Supersedes people.
So the people occupying the road supersedes her right to travel, even though it's against the law to do what they're doing. They're breaking the law. She's following the law.
Anymore. The federal government came in to punch your ass. Watch me get this lady out of here. All these motherfuckers, and you can't get this lady out of here. You're fucking incompetent. You're all a bunch of losers and dying to
Yeah, back up. We'll deal with it. Thank you, sir. We know it's a headache between us. Please back up. I appreciate it.
Don't pull that shit in Florida, I tell you right now. Ain't gonna fly. Have we learned nothing from the Maui fires? Cops loyal to the state will turn their citizens they're supposed to protect right back into the fires. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. Mm-hmm. Right here. Portland police aren't just shielding Antifa, they're actively working against DHS agents. I caught them multiple times taking videos from leftist protesters to launch investigations into DHS agents who use pepper spray on rioters. Pull federal funds from Portland. While Portland police allow Antifa terrorists who attempt to blind DHS agents to hide behind them, they're also trying to undermine DHS's ability to defend themselves. I'm not sure this police department is even salvageable at this point. I'm hoping maybe Harmeet Dillon's going to take control over the Portland Police Department because they obviously aren't a valid police department anymore. This is that same cop. This is the same cop.
So he tried to get in my face and try to make me fight. I'm not gonna fight.
Here, let me take a video from your phone.
Put your hands on me, that's gonna be a problem. But at the end of the day, I'm peacefully protesting. I'm peacefully showing them all up. I got a reputation, though. I got respect. I interviewed everybody down here. I interviewed police and everybody down here about why they down here, what they down here for. My name is Tennessee. I have an Instagram. My Instagram is gamer_Michael.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. That's the same cop.
There's one block north of Lowell.
Like if I was the feds, these liaison cops would be arrested and charged with violating civil rights under the color of law. 18 USC something or other. Pick one. I don't know statutes, but they're breaking the law. They're using their authority as officers to violate the rights of all the citizens in the town. That's my opinion. I want to know how much funding is involved and from whom. There's clearly a deeply entrenched relationship going on. Who's giving the orders and who someone is paying. Portland PD is overdue for a cleansing. The DOJ needs to dig deep into Portland police. Everything must be exposed. I'll make sure of it. It's crazy we live in a time where cops protect criminals over citizens. It doesn't feel like America out there. There we go. We got this. Yes, the whole department needs to be shut down. Convicted Antifa firebomber Eric King, who served a decade in prison, urging escalation. We can force them to shut the F up when it hurts their wallet enough, or you can find other ways to hurt them.
We can force them out. We can force them to shut the fuck up when it hurts their wallet enough. Or you can find other ways to hurt them. But there are solutions to these companies and these organizations and these politicians. And it usually involves stopping the cash flow. We are all a group of people facing down the barrel of fascism. We see what's coming down the pipeline. And we need to chop that head off now. We need to attack the bigots at Capitol. The only thing these companies care about, these bitch-ass companies that are seceding to Trump, the only thing they care about is their profit.
It could also refer to direct action. You know, I think there's a direct, I think that there's a need for a diversity of tactics. No.
Diversity of tactics, direct action.
Direct action, if I can just have one more second. Once again, hitting the bigots where it hurts is always important. If you see a company in your community that is openly anti-trans or donating money to anti-trans legislation, get word out about it. Boycott it. Protest it. Hurt them where it counts. We do that to Drip Coffee here in Denver. I'm not a communist, but Denver communists are out there every single week protesting.
You are a
bigoted
communist.
Coffee shop and driving customers away from it. We can destroy the narrative by destroying their profits.
Yeah, employees of Max Diaz State Farm on Spalding Avenue and 26th Street in Chicago harbored a fugitive of the law and refused to turn them over after the suspect ran inside. This says it's time for another boycott. Actually, I don't think it's time for a boycott. I think it's time for this business to be shut down. They should have arrested everybody inside. You're not allowed to harbor. Harboring a fugitive is a crime. They committed a fucking crime. Why are we playing patty cake with these people? Yeah, those four are all Antifa, yeah. And Antifa's communists. This cop right here should have never let them tell him to get out. The guy ran in. They should have went and grabbed him. They should not have let this happen. This cop didn't do his job. This cop goes, "Oh, you told me to leave. I got to leave." That's not how it works. You can follow somebody. You don't need a warrant to follow somebody that's fleeing when you see them fleeing. Doesn't work that way.
See what you guys are causing? You see what you guys are causing?
not good. You let a guy run in and let those people get away with harboring him. They should have all been arrested. Pat Hacker says, let's wait and see how many convictions Bondi's gets. Well, that's the thing. Right now, in a lot of these jurisdictions, because of what's happening, you're not going to get convictions. People are going to get let out because they're going to have these same assholes around here screaming in the street, going, shame, shame, go away, leave us alone. They're just here. Those same people are going to get on the juries. They're going to be like refusing to convict. So we're going to have a major problem. We basically have a civil war going to happen in this country. That's what's going to come down to. You got to stop it. You can't let this has metastasized for far too long. This really has. At State Farm Insurance, that's Chicago on 26th Street. So probably all illegals working there. 26th Street and Keeler Avenue in Chicago. Yeah. Phil Holloway says, this Portland police buffoon says rioters have a First Amendment right to take over and shut down public roads. I mean, for fuck's sake, with cops like this, Portland's already lost. Do they have no educational standards for recruits? This is that same cop. Tim sounds like Tim Pool. Well, I'm just reading the writing on the wall. This does not go, this goes nowhere good from here. It really doesn't. And the demon rats are making it worse every day. They're doing everything in their power to try and make it more difficult to actually just enforce the law. This guy, downtown LA, a construction contractor, thinks it's okay to hire illegal alien workers. He gets triggered once CBP shows up to pick up his only worker at the Home Depot.
What are you guys doing? Hey, no. I need to go to work. Hey, close that door. You guys don't have the right. No. Guys, seriously. Dude, come on, man.
Agents in their contact with
No,
talk
dude.
to him.
Chente. Hey, dude.
They talk to him.
No. You guys can't do that. Hey, what the fuck are you guys doing? Please, dude. No, I speak English, man. I don't need you to fucking degrade me like that.
Do not impede arrest.
You two, what the hell's wrong with you? You're brown. You should be ashamed of yourself.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Why not? I speak English. Asshole.
Listen,
dude,
they made contact with him. He has no docs.
You guys should be ashamed, dude. Seriously, what the hell's wrong with you? Relax. I am, dude. How can I be relaxed when you guys are taking people?
Illegal aliens.
You what? You're what? No. You said you're what? Take off your mask. No, you just said you'll slam me. You just said you have candy. What's wrong with you, man? You're telling me to come on over there, but don't get too close? You're contradicting yourself, dude. Dude, what you guys are doing is awful. I am relaxed, dude, but what you guys are doing is awful, dude. It's horrible. Dude, you guys are disgusting, dude. You guys seem like you're proud of what you're doing as well.
I'm proud of them. They're doing their job.
You guys seem like you're proud of what you're doing.
They are proud of it. They're getting all the illegals out. They all got to go.
You guys are terrible, dude.
They're not terrible.
I'll
They're great.
right here, and if you do slam me, go ahead. I'm not. Look, my hands are here. Look, my hands are right here. That's why I need to move a little bit this way. I need to go right here so that I don't get ran over. I'm right here.
Back up, dude.
I'm right here.
Get out of here, bro.
You guys approached me. I was over there with my truck.
You get ran over, you dope. What's wrong with you?
Dude, take off your mask. Take off your mask. You guys are pussies that won't take off your mask. Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god, they took my illegal worker. No, they took my illegal worker. Oh no, the guy was going to pay. Yeah, every modern day slavery, it's going to end now. That's right. Thank God for the Trump administration starting to take down Satan's American deep state cult. Yeah, 3 hours after Turning Point USA's journalist and White House correspondent Savannah Hernandez told Border Patrol on X about the illegal aliens selling fake goods on New York City's Canal Street, ICE sweeps the area and arrests 9 illegal invaders with healthy criminal rap sheets.
at 10:42 a.m., October 21st, Savannah Hernandez tweets out, "You guys should check out Canal Street in New York City. There are easily 30 to 40 illegals there daily selling fake goods. Would be an easy sweep and send a strong message to the sanctuary city of New York." And then not 3 hours later, that's exactly what happened. I texted Savannah, like, you're kind of like a warlord now. Do you get that? Do you know that? You kind of are like a warlord. You kind of just pointed and said, get them, and then a bunch of heavily armed men obeyed your orders. Isn't that pretty crazy? So here she is actually documenting the Canal Street open-air crime market. And I remember seeing this in Italy probably 10 years ago. And it was honestly a very funny, strange situation. I'm walking down the street in Florence, and there's all these Africans with all these, fake bags, Gucci bags and stuff, either stolen or off-brand, whatever. And this is what they do. So they have them all on blankets. And I remember I'm walking down the street, and all of a sudden, they were there, and then it was like you blink, and they're gone.
They're gone.
And so a cop car would pull up at the end of the alley, and they would the reason they're all on blankets is they grab the corners of the blanket, scoop it up, and just disappear. Like cockroaches when you turn the light on. Like, they're just gone into all the crevices. They just disappear. And I remember seeing that in Italy 10 years ago and thinking it was actually kind of funny. Kind of funny seeing all these guys out there hawking their goods, and then they just vanish the instant a cop appears. They're just gone in an instant. So they've carried that tactic over to New York and are, carrying out their illegal business there. So Savannah Hernandez yesterday tweets out, hey, maybe you should go after Canal. Then we go to clip number 14. This was later that day. Let's watch.
Racists don't see the excellence.
There you go. ICE agents taking people down on Canal Street. A bunch of New York.
We saw a bunch of this stuff already.
Third degree, unauthorized use of motor vehicle, criminal sale of narcotics, possessing a controlled substance, possessing of marijuana for sale, making false reports to law enforcement, and resisting arrest. Mohammed Nadai, a criminal illegal alien from Senegal, previously arrested for domestic violence, robbery, stolen goods. Idi Sar, a criminal alien from Senegal as well. Modu Mpap, not even kidding, another illegal criminal. You just got a bunch of illegal criminal aliens hawking stolen goods on the streets of New York. Not anymore, thanks to Savannah Hernandez.
Wow. Awesome. Now, the Trump administration is ending immigration judges being allowed to release illegal aliens back into America permanently. Immigration judges can no longer grant bond for immigrants who entered the U.S. without authorization. DHS called the ruling, quote, a big win for our ICE attorneys, securing our ability to detain illegal aliens until they are deported. A new immigration court directive could keep people detained much longer before they're deported. The Board of Immigration Appeals, the top administrative body which interprets and applies immigration laws, released a new decision. For the first time in American history, the court ruled immigration judges can no longer grant bond for undocumented immigrants who entered the U.S. without authorization, all but guaranteeing mandatory detention for those detained. It's a monumental decision.
Cheryl, it was a quiet decision released last month that could impact millions of people in the country. A change to how immigration laws are enforced could mean anyone arrested will remain detained until they are deported. But some attorneys are now pushing back. This week, the federal government said in court that since July, more than 1,800 people have been arrested in the Chicago area. But having their day in court is not a guarantee. The immigration court is convoluted. It does not fall under the judicial branch. It falls under the executive branch. Separate from criminal court, a person's rights are much more limited. ABC 7 chief legal analyst Gil Sofer.
They get the due process owed to them.
They're civil. The question isn't whether someone has committed a crime. The question is whether they can be deported. And the rights are different.
It is a crime.
Immigration court directive could keep people detained
That's bullshit.
much longer.
It's not civil.
Deported.
It's a crime.
In September, the Board of Immigration
They just
Appeals,
took
the
it
top
away from
administrative
federal
body
district court and gave it to the
which
special
applies
court.
immigration
Congress
laws,
established
released
this
a new
court for this
decision.
specific
For
crime.
the first time in American history, the court ruled immigration.
Okay. We have bankruptcy court for people who go to bankruptcy. We have copyright court for copyright violations. We have admiralty court for all the laws that have to do with, the seas and stuff like that. We have immigration court specifically for immigration. Because immigration was clogging up the other court systems. So Congress set up the specific court that doesn't all of a sudden just say it's not a crime. It's still a crime to enter the country illegally. It's just handled in immigration court. Holy fuck.
Judges can no longer grant bond for undocumented immigrants who entered the U.S. without authorization, all but guaranteeing mandatory detention for those detained.
It is a monumental decision. It's a change in approach for sure.
DHS calling the ruling, quote, a big win for our ICE attorneys, securing our ability to detain illegal aliens until they are deported. But immigration advocates and attorneys say it's a total sea change.
It overturned decades of case law, of regulations and laws.
Judge Payton is a former assistant chief immigration judge who was fired by the Trump administration this past July.
Yeah.
She says without cause.
No,
Now she's in
her
private
cause
practice and says undocumented people seeking a bond.
Her cause was because she was working for the illegal aliens, not for the United States government, as was her fucking job. Was to determine whether or not they had a legal right to be in the country, and if they don't, they have to fucking go. That's the law. Not like feel bad for their story. That's not how this works. There's 8 billion fucking people in the world that if you feel bad for their story, guess what? They're all here.
Hearing have to hire an attorney like her to file petitions in federal court outside of immigration court to try to get relief.
Demanding that the federal courts review the decision of the immigration court and tell them that they're wrong and they should hold a bond hearing.
It felt very dehumanizing.
Tonight at 10 p.m., the I-Team looks at one family challenging this new court directive, all to release their father.
The moment they put him in a van, we didn't know where he was going.
So are those that his family members, are they American citizens? Because why? Because their illegal alien parents had them when they snuck over the border? They're not American citizens. They need to be deported too. Ending catch and release is a historic step. Yeah, these judges all need to be fired. Yeah, Congress gave the immigration courts to the executive branch. Yeah. Ending catch and release is a historic step forward. It's going towards restoring the rule of law. For decades, illegal aliens exploited bond hearings to vanish into communities while waiting deportation. That's right. You get them bond, you never fucking see them again. They don't come back to court. They just run and hide. Then they get caught. They get a bond. They go hide. It's a fucking revolving door that incentivizes lawbreaking. Look at that. It's a revolving door. I was right. Yes, that incentivizes lawbreaking. Mandatory detention ensures ICE can actually remove those who broke our laws instead of letting them disappear. Critics crying due process ignore that $150 billion annually is the cost on Americans due to illegal immigration. It drains it from their taxpayers, from healthcare, education, and welfare. This policy mirrors Trump's 2020 success slashing border crossings through Remain in Mexico. Enforcement works. The self-deportation apps gives those wanting legal pathways to a merit-based option. Lawbreakers don't get to judge shop for loopholes. Secure borders require consequences, not performative hearings. Mm-hmm. Like this, look. Re-immigration. ICE officials transported an illegal alien who rammed federal agents' cars during an immigration enforcement raid where both the illegal and U.S. Marshal were shot. The hospital ordered ICE vehicles towed. According to the tow truck company, the hospital called for the tow. This is where TikToker Richard L.A. is being held treated after being shot by U.S. Marshals while being targeted during an immigration arrest. The second ICE vehicle towed from the hospital.
Outside the hospital here where Richard L.A. is being treated after U.S. Marshals shot him in the arm earlier today, ICE is getting their vehicle towed. Whose vehicle is that?
Take that shit.
The hospital called you? Who called you? Nice. Hospital called the tow truck driver. He said he's getting paid to tow this ICE vehicle away.
You've been kidnapped for Clark. Pedophile. Another one out front too, a blue one I think they got.
Oh, really? Oh, so you're towing 2 vehicles today?
Yeah. I would arrest the fucking tow truck driver.
All those cameras see, hey, stop criminal kids. Stop killing innocent people. This is a kidnapper. Get this piece of shit out of here.
they already took the other.
Yeah, that's theft of government property. Hey, look, a felony on video. Yeah. Got here, ICE raid on Kathy Hochul's sanctuary, New York City illegal alien street vendors. This impressive sweeping raid does two things. It makes New York City safer, and it pisses off Kathy to no end.
News in a wild scene in Chinatown. Federal agents conducting an enforcement on illegal vending on Canal Street. Newscopter 7 first over the scene at 4 p.m., capturing pushing and shoving in the middle of the street. And right now, we have the first live pictures on the ground.
Eyewitness News reporter Lucy Yang there with brand new video of the chaos that played out. Lucy.
Well, that's right. It was a very tense scene here on Canal Street. Lafayette is behind us. Now, normally this stretch of Chinatown is filled with vendors on the sidewalk selling all sorts of what we believe are fake designer goods, T-shirts, pocketbooks, perfume, watches, anything, you name it. But today it was a very different scene. You see this vendor behind me packing up their wares right now. They tell me that they have been approached by federal agents this afternoon. The other vendors have cleared out. We believe this is part of an ongoing federal investigation into illegal vending here on Canal Street in Chinatown. We believe ICE agents, Homeland Security, FBI were involved in this joint investigation. We don't know if they were coordinating with the NYPD. We don't have that information at this moment. It did get very hot on the scene here as crowds then circled around the agents trying to prevent them from arresting anyone. There was shoving. We saw someone knocked to the ground.
Trying to prevent someone from arresting anyone. That's a crime. Trying to prevent a federal law enforcement officer from making an arrest is a fucking felony. Stop ignoring it. Someone tries to interfere with you making an arrest them, charge them with the fucking felony. Let them deal with it. A huge immigration raid just occurred in New York City near Canal Street. Federal agents took multiple illegal street vendors per local media. Multiple arrests made. Keep arresting in blue cities.
And what we were told is officers from the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement were seen detaining the individuals near Canal Street, near Church and Broadway on Tuesday afternoon. Over a dozen federal officers wearing vested red police federal agent were seen walking on the sidewalk in Lower Manhattan with zip ties. The officers got in the car and left the area. The area normally has lots of street vendors, and now the streets are clear. As you could see that live shot going on right now, I wanted to bring you that because we were...
Federal officers tackle and tear the mask off a leftist who pushed ICE during their operation. This is what I voted for. Let's see. News Nation
is running. Now again, this person, we've been watching this person. He has been pushing ICE agents and police, and people have been defending him. There's another woman right in front. She was also pushing some of these officers. Whether they know someone who was arrested by police for being undocumented is unclear. Again, we're trying to figure out how many arrests there actually were that were undocumented immigrants as opposed to protesters. At this point, these are protesters who are being arrested.
Yeah, notice right. Yeah, you can't touch a fucking federal officer. Yeah. The migrant NYC scammer who got aggressive with video journalist Shirley has now been arrested as part of the immigration enforcement raid today. This raid happened this afternoon on Canal Street. The migrant fumed when he saw Shirley's camera and said, "Business is how we eat. We're going to get effed up. F with your camera. F you work for, bitch. You're going to get you." So this guy, this video, this guy was one of the guys that got arrested.
How much? Yo, what's up? We don't do no fucking camera. Fuck the fucking camera.
Hey.
Get the fucking pushing.
Hey.
You heard?
Hey.
Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Hey.
Fuck
Back
you
up,
with your
back
fucking
off,
camera.
back off.
I said, fuck you with your camera. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Who the fuck you work for? Bitch ass nigga. Who the fuck you work for? Bitch, who you work for? Fuck you, nigga. You're in public. Get the fuck out of here. Yo, listen, you gonna get the fuck out of here.
Hey.
Back up. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. You gonna get fucked up. I'm telling you, bro.
Back up.
Fucking fucked up over here.
Back up.
Keep
Back up.
Get the fuck out of here. That's what y'all do, snitch ass motherfucker. Look at yourself in there.
Hey.
Take that shit somewhere else.
Hey,
Come
why
on, man. Keep
are
it
you mad
fucking
at me?
pushing. Keep it pushing.
Why are you mad at me?
Take it over there, somewhere else.
I am.
Yeah, you work for the fucking, who you work for?
By myself.
All right, get out of here. With
Look,
that
I just
fucking
bought some
camera.
Rolex.
That's right.
I just bought a
Fuck
Rolex.
you with the Rolex. So
It's a
fuck
fake
outta
one.
here.
It's a fake one.
It's
so.
a fake one. Go to the fucking store and get the real one. Get the fuck out of here with your cameras. Snitch ass motherfuckers. But what the fuck is y'all here for? This is how the fuck we eat. That's how the fuck we eat. So get the fuck out of here.
I'm leaving.
So get the fuck out of here.
Where you come from?
You get the fuck out of here.
Where
I
you-
come from your mother, bitch.
Really?
You, bitch.
No, you didn't.
Fuck out of here.
Why are you mad at us?
Go fucking suck some
We
dick.
can be here on the street. This is public street.
Yo, get the
We have the
fuck
First
outta here,
Amendment.
nigga. This our block, you bitch ass nigga. Get the fuck
This is your
outta
block?
here. Yeah, motherfucker. So somebody spend this motherfucker and take the camera away.
I can be here. I don't have anything to be worried about because I'm not doing anything illegally. You see what happens? People come in from other countries illegally. They get mad at you on the streets of the United States. Then they shouldn't be doing stuff illegally. Then they shouldn't be doing stuff illegally.
Hey, that's not your fucking business if you do video in
Hey, hey. Hey.
I will smash this bitch.
Hey.
And you won't fucking look.
Hey. Hey. All right, we're out. See what happens? That's the problem. If you just can't let this go on, people need to start standing on business. These people are selling illegally on the streets of New York City. Cameraman just got punched in the face. Took one for the team. He just took one cold right there. They're selling marijuana illegally. That's why they're mad. Thing is, these people don't have papers. You guys heard it there. He said this is his block. It's not his block. He's here illegally. He doesn't even have papers to be here. How much?
DHS rounded up 9 African illegals on the streets of New York City, namely Canal Street. Mwamdame Nawade is the same one who attacked journalist Nick Shirley. He's from Mali. Criminal record for assault, reckless endangering, counterfeiting, third degree, and authorized use of motor vehicle, criminal sale of narcotics, possessing a controlled substance, possession of marijuana for sale, making false reports to law enforcement, and resisting arrest. Their photos have been released. Several men from Senegal, Guinea, and Mauritania. Huh. They all going, bye-bye. Bye-bye. You go home now. Bye-bye. Because of feminism's feel. Yeah. Are we still in America? I don't know. Is that Tim Pool's kid? No. Yeah, where's your humanity? My humanity left a couple years ago. DHS exposing the truth. Canal Street raid nabs 9 African illegals with rap sheets longer than Biden's open border policies. Mandama Dandawi's record, assault, narcotics, counterfeiting. These aren't asylum seekers. They're career criminals exploiting our weak enforcement. Yeah, they're best and brightest. Yeah. See, that's another thing that we really want to, I don't know, we really want to talk about maybe at some point in time. All our do-gooders that go to Africa to try to save the people in Africa and help them survive. In the last 50 years, Africa went from being one of the lowest population growth countries to one of the largest. And it's because of us, not us per se, but because of Westerners that want to go help. They can't sustain themselves. If all the aid going to Africa stopped, there would be mass starvation and death because they can't support themselves. The average IQ of an African person in Africa is like 60. It's bad. And yet, that's where this massive population boom is happening. Because, feel goodies, want to do things, you want to help people. You're only causing your own destruction. You're creating hordes of unintelligent people who cannot take care of themselves. They're going to come eat you. New York City sweeps already removed MS-13 members, 10 de Aragua gangsters, and foreign fugitives. Sanctuary cities release them. Trump's DHS hunts them. Every arrest proves that borders must stay locked down. Yeah, that explains Ilhan Omar. Oh, it does. Yeah, we can help them in their own countries. No, that's the problem, is we've been helping them in their own countries, and that's why there's been this population explosion in Africa. The explosion is because of all the food stuffs we send there. We go build them water, purification things. We're building them wells. We're making them be able to survive when they shouldn't be able to because they can't support themselves. It's a very tough pill to swallow to say that, it's like it's basically the same thing that we did in the United States with fucking welfare. We got all these places where they're just having a whole bunch of kids and they can't support them because the government's there to help them. But now the government basically expanded all that to Africa and other countries, and Vegans Taste Like Chicken says, well, it's hopefully pushed the illegals off the street and Antifa is buying fake Gucci bags. Well, charging a 50% tax on remittance will get a lot of illegal aliens out of the country. Yeah, I saw a report that said $40 billion, $40 billion with a B in remittances go back to Africa every year, namely Somalia. Like over 10 billion just from Minnesota alone go to Somalia. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey everybody! We've been going about 2 hours and 15 minutes, so I think we're going to go maybe about another half hour or so, unless we hit the goal. We have another $40 to go in donations. If we get another $40 in the next half hour or so, I'll extend it by another hour. Just want to let everybody know that's where we're at. New York's Canal Street is safer. 9 illegal aliens arrested have violent rap sheets, including robbery, burglary, domestic violence, assaulting law enforcement, counterfeiting, drug trafficking, drug possession, and forgery. Under President Trump and Secretary Noam, criminal illegal aliens are not welcome in the United States. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No. Well, I don't know. Remittances are what's come from people. Usually, like huge remittances go back to Mexico and South America from people that are working here. Remittances, it's a lot of it's probably coming from like aid, like from people getting EBT stuff and they're scamming it, sending it back there. So we got this one. We got Mamadou Douadi, a criminal illegal alien from Mali, issued a final order of removal by an immigration judge in 2008. So this guy was supposed to leave in 2008. Oh, Bella needs adjusting. Uganda. Mandami's family compound is in Uganda. Mm-hmm. Okay. Better? Everyone see Bella better now? Mm-hmm. So this guy, the guy that attacked, this is the guy who attacked that cameraman and did all this stuff to Nick Shirley. He was ordered removed in 2008. The QR code is hiding her right now. It didn't look like she's behind the QR code now. All right, she moved. Where did it? Oh, Bella's laying on top of her doll. Hold on. This guy, 2008. That's almost 20 years ago. This guy was ordered out of the country, and he's still running around in the country committing crimes. He was previously arrested for crimes including assault, reckless endangerment, counterfeiting, third degree, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, criminal sale of narcotics, possessing a controlled substance, possession of marijuana for sale, making false report to law enforcement, and resisting arrest. This guy, 20 years ago, was ordered out of the country. He's already had his due process. He should be on the first fucking plane smoking out of the country. And then this guy, Mohamed Nadeya, a criminal illegal alien from Senegal with previously arrested for domestic violence, robbery, receiving stolen property, burglary, fraudulent accosting, forgery, and counterfeiting, sale of controlled substance. So these are the people that they say when they were saying we want to get the criminals out. But these are the people that the fucking Democrats are protecting. These are criminals. He entered the U.S. on a tourist visa that required him to leave in 1995. 1995, this guy was supposed to leave. That's 30 fucking years ago. Abu Bakr Dakati is a criminal legal alien with previous arrest for counterfeiting. Sergurki Diop, A criminal illegal alien from Senegal who entered the U.S. in April 2024 at the southwest border was previously released to the U.S. by the Biden administration. Alou Oudessi, an illegal alien from Senegal, arrested in the U.S., entered the U.S. in May 2023, failed to depart after his tourist visa expired. I mean, we should make them pay, like, for a tourist visa to come to the U.S., it should be like they have to put up a bond. And if you don't leave, they don't get the bond back. That's what I say. Amadou Dalalou is a criminal illegal alien from Guinea who entered the U.S. in 2021 at the southwest border and was released by the Biden administration. Idi Sarr, a criminal illegal alien from Senegal, issued a final order of removal by an immigration judge in 2010. So this guy's only been ordered to leave 15 years ago. He was previously arrested for obstruction, possession of a forging instrument, counterfeiting, failure to disclose origin of recording, drug possession, and criminal possession with consent to sell. Another guy. Bokar Soko, a criminal alien from Mauritania, previously arrested for counterfeiting, second degree. So I wonder what these counterfeitings are. What do you think? You want to bet it's making false IDs, making fake social security cards? You want to bet? I bet that's what it is. I bet that's what it is. He was arrested 3 times for second-degree counterfeiting. Yeah, need to have an ankle monitor with a visa. You think the crash gate last night was a dry one for November 5th? Maybe. In a caravan, he entered the U.S. illegally in 2023 in a caravan of 26 people was released by the Biden administration. So this guy's been arrested he's only been here since 2023 and he's already been arrested 3 times. It's wealthy trolling us. Money is doing this to punish us. Donor cash trolling us. You're starting to see a pattern. Yeah, seeing patterns will get you in trouble though, so be careful. Seeing a pattern can get you. Modoy Mapupo, a criminal illegal alien from Senegal, previously assaulted Mexican law enforcement. He entered the U.S. in September 2023 in a caravan of 140 people at the southern border, was released by the Biden administration. Tom Homan is doing a pretty good job of tracking expired visas. Yeah, that's what we need to do. I say get all the visa overstays too. Yeah, all these people need to go. Canal Street raids proves ICE is doing its job, arresting criminals, not targeting innocents. These arrests include robbery, drug trafficking, assault officers. New York City's sanctuary policies protect lawbreakers, not citizens. Trump's enforcement strategy works. Prioritizing deporting violent offenders, not wasting time on performative outrage. When local leaders block ICE, chaos follows. Secure borders and swift removals keep Americans safe. Critics defending these criminals, they're part of the problem. 5 out of the 9 criminals arrested on New York City's Canal Street entered illegally and were released into the country by the Biden administration. Madupi babupup. Madupi babupup. Yeah. New York City's Canal Street is safer because 9 illegal aliens were arrested. We read that already. Oh my God. Breaking. U.S. Marshals have been shot during a Los Angeles immigration enforcement operation. Federal vehicles were rammed as the illegal tried to escape. An illegal alien was also shot. Both have non-life-threatening injuries. Pray for federal agents in the area.
News alert. This is video that we just have in from moments ago from Los Angeles. This is according to multiple ICE and Fox News sources. A U.S. Marshal and an illegal alien were both shot in L.A. this morning. It was during an immigration operation. Both at this time, we are told, have non-life-threatening injuries. Fox is told that federal agents surrounded and boxed in a target. That target then rammed federal vehicles in an attempt to escape. The feds fired their weapons. One U.S. Marshal was hit in his hand in what initially appears to be a bullet ricochet. The target criminal alien was hit in the elbow, we are told. Both expected to be okay, and they are at the hospital, and we are awaiting an update on that situation. All right. News alert. This is video that we just...
Interesting. Yeah, there are riots breaking out in LA following an influencer, Richard LA, getting shot after he rammed ICE vehicles during an immigration operation. These types of behaviors prove that these people are violent insurrectionists. Lock them up.
Start this shit. You motherfuckers started that shit. Fuck them. Fuck them. Yeah, we're tired. Fucking tired. Everyone take pictures. Everyone take pictures of these motherfuckers.
Wow, that was a lot of crazy shit, huh? If they are wearing keffiyeh, send them to Gaza. That's what I say, man. Mm-hmm. It's not showing the show. I don't know. You know, I can't control what they do with their cameras. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is a good channel, Future Conflict. I don't know if you guys aren't subscribed to Future Conflict. Subscribe to Future Conflict on YouTube, at Future Conflict. It's a council on Future Conflict is what the official name is. Some great guys, all long, mostly, pretty much all former military or current military, talking about the situations that are going on. They're a great group of guys to listen to about stuff. He says, so attention, the happenings have breached the Monday through Thursday barrier. Because normally the happenings would not happen Monday through Thursday. It would be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday through Thursday would be nothing. So act accordingly. An immigration enforcement official was reportedly shot in Los Angeles when a shootout with illegal immigrants. Democrats and leftists have been urging the public to get firearms and shoot federal law enforcement. U.S. Marshal was reportedly shot in the hand, or a suspect was shot in the elbow during an immigration enforcement operation in Los Angeles. The agent was shot in the hand, suspect shot in the elbow. U.S. Marshal, a man being pursued, wounded during an immigration enforcement operation after agents were boxed in a vehicle. Keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. And then Nick Shirley went back to Canal Street. It's showing for me on the app in my phone's browser. What are you talking about? All I'm seeing is intro shit. Something's been going on. That's all I see on. That's all I see on when I try to refresh and go to Rumble. It's just the intro shit repeating over and over again. So I don't know what's going on. You're seeing damn commercials. I don't know what's wrong with Rumble. I'm sorry, guys, on Rumble. I don't know what's wrong with Rumble. I really don't. There's something weird going on with Rumble. It's not playing the video. It says it's on Rumble. It says it's rumbling. So, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Rumble. It's showing for me on the app in my phone's browser. Yeah. I'm just seeing commercials. I have no control over commercials on Rumble at all. Yeah. I've had to watch full commercials all day too, long ones. It's Rumble. I have no control over Rumble does what Rumble does with commercials. There's no way for me to shut them off on Rumble. Sorry. So no counterfeit scammer or drug dealers on the streets today. They've been iced. So you're saying Rumble is fine? Some people are having trouble with Rumble.
I'm here on Canal Street, and there are no signs of any street vendors after yesterday's raid. This street's completely clear. This street as well. The main spot is completely cleared as well. No signs of counterfeit scammers or drug dealers on the streets of New York City here on Canal Street today. I'm here on Canal Street, and there are...
Got this, breaking: an illegal alien from Venezuela being harbored by JB Prickster was just arrested for committing 4 home invasion rapes. 4 home invasion rapes. He's been arrested 5 times since June while on pretrial release under Prickster's cashless bail system. And so these raids make a difference? Sure. And then he was shielded from ICE deportation.
Police say they've arrested a suspect connected to a series of home invasions and attempted sexual assaults. Police arrested 21-year-old Yason Diaz-Gomez Monday. Back on October 10th, police say he attacked a woman in Evanston and tried to remove her clothing before a neighbor heard the woman scream and intervened. A few hours later, 3 similar incidents were reported in Rogers Park. In one case, a woman reported fighting off a man who attacked her after breaking into her home. One of the victims identified Diaz-Gomez in a photo lineup leading to his arrest. He is being held in jail until his trial. Police say they've arrested a suspect connected to a series of home invasions.
This is who the Democrats are protecting, right? Donald Trump's administration doesn't respect the Constitution, but they're learning that Illinois will not bow under their tyranny. Arrest him. Arrest this man. Please. Please arrest him. Texas DPS finds and arrests illegal alien convicted pedophile being smuggled in a vehicle near Eagle Pass, Texas. You're over here because you can't watch on Rumble. Well, I'm sorry, but please remember to hit the like and subscribe. So I can't control Rumble. I don't know what's going on with Rumble. I'm sorry. Yes, you are welcome here. All are welcome here. All are welcome here. DPS captures convicted child sex offender from Mexico in Maverick County. On October 15th, troopers stopped a gray Dodge Challenger on US 277 in Eagle Pass, leading to the arrest of Joshua Sanders of Fort Worth, Texas. Sanders was smuggling 3 illegal aliens. It just keeps playing my intro and outros. I don't know why. You just figured the internet's being attacked again, so I pay no mind to the ads. It's just part of technology, something we got to live with. I don't know what's going on. One of the individuals, Jose Aleman Arroyo of Mexico, was identified as an aggravated deported felon who illegally re-entered the U.S. after being convicted of indecency with a child and assault. Steve Hilliard says, Rumble has always sucked. Texas DPS continues to protect our communities by apprehending dangerous criminals who attempt to enter and operate in our state. See the official press release for details. Oh, here we got a little video. You want to see it? Here it goes.
San Frank William 042.
City car.
Coming from Dallas. From Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's for a ride. Where'd you pick him up?
I picked him up at the gas station.
What gas station?
I'm not.
You're not from here? You might step in our car from here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So right now you're coming from Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I made a stop in Del Rio.
Okay, so you came from Dallas to Del Rio?
Del Rio.
And what'd you do in Del Rio?
I slept at the hotel.
You slept at the hotel? Sinceramente, de Venezuela, Mexico, Honduras. Okay. Okay. You get it for me?
deported felon, aggravated sexual assault of a minor.
All right. So Miranda warnings, you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand each of these rights I've explained to you? Yes, sir. Having these rights in mind, are you willing to waive these rights and speak to me? What was that? Yes, sir. Okay. Now, man, let's be honest.
To be honest, I got walked into this. I didn't know what was going on.
Or the Facebook marketing type of thing?
No. It's like you get on there and then people make posts like, I need a ride here, I need a ride here. And about like $500 just to...
$500 per person, $500 per three?
No, just to come out here.
Oh, just to come out here?
Yeah, they was real skeptic. And then when I finally got here, like we just ain't been on the road for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And like they were like trying, I was like, I'm not comfortable with doing this and stuff like that. And so at first I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna pull over and was gonna, because once I seen you behind me, I was like, I knew you was coming, so I already knew. But
Smuggling persons in Texas. That's a crime. We got this. This is interesting, right? Indian symbols, including a Sikh khanda, were found on the semi-truck of a 21-year-old driver who killed 3 people in Ontario, California. A driver Californian officials are refusing to name. I'll go out on a limb and say his name is Singh. He's going to sing a song about killing people on the highway. Yeah, he's got a new gig job transporting illegals. Why do they call child rape that? So to make it sound not bad or make it normal? I don't know. Oh, look at here's sing song dong dong ding dong doom. What is khanda? Sandhu. How much you want to bet? Want to wager? It's another Indian illegal alien driver that's got a bogus CDL that California's giving out like hotcakes, candy. Hotcakes candy. What do you know? Get around here and they go, go, go. Boop, boop. Beep, boop, bop, boop. That's his name. Josephanit Singh, definitely. Isn't that human trafficking again? Changing the names of crimes. The feds can charge him with human trafficking, I think, but Texas has state laws against it, so Texas don't play. Texas is gonna lock that dude up. That's the difference between Texas and other states. You're terrified of driving on the interstates now? I would be too. I'd be terrified of semi-trucks, definitely. Definitively. Oh. Look at this. Got this. The Minnesota judge who gave a Somali rapist the lightest sentence possible due to cultural differences exposed by Turning Point USA contributor Savannah Hernandez. So this is kind of on a different story here, but
a 42-year-old Somali man abducted and raped a 12-year-old who was playing in her backyard in Minnesota. You're out front of the Islamic Center that wrote a letter in support of him, saying that he's a family man who had overcome the challenges of a new culture. Here's a clip of that.
This is Savannah Hernandez standing in front of the Al Hassan Islamic Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. Now, I'm standing here because this mosque has made national headlines after they penned a letter of community support for a Somali immigrant who sexually assaulted a 12-year-old. Now, back in 2024, this perpetrator was charged after abducting a 12-year-old from her backyard, forcing her into his vehicle, and then sexually assaulting her. He has since been convicted of first-degree criminal sexual assault. Now, after being convicted, his family members were sending letters to the judge to ask the judge to consider his character when making that sentencing. And one of those letters came from the Al Hassan Islamic Center. It was actually signed by their executive director, stating that he had to face cultural differences and the challenges of taking on a new culture. They also framed him as a family-oriented man who sends his money oftentimes back to his family members in Somalia. The judge actually gave him the lightest sentencing possible. He is only going to be serving 8 years in jail for this crime. He was sentenced to 12 years, but those last 4 years are going to be spent out of jail and on probation.
No, he'll be deported.
point about the challenges of a different culture. This perpetrator has been in the United States of America since 2006. So he's been in the United States for 19 years. He was born in Somalia, but he has been here for almost 2 decades at this point.
Kind of looks like Ilhan Omar, doesn't it? I mean, if you cover the face, look at the eyes.
Islamic Center put it, the situation, of course, being him sexually assaulting and abducting.
Brock outlined how they modified the oath of naturalization for Muslims. Yeah.
Some of these stories, some of the cultural impact happening here in Minnesota as it relates to the Somali community. Families, their culture, and their entire country for them. It's really deep. Assimilated to the United States of America, are sending their money abroad and then going to visit Somalia while simultaneously stating that they're here on asylum. I've been doing a really deep dive into all of the immigration reform.
Minnesota don't care though, Fox Blade. They're letting it happen.
1980s to really see how the United States of America got to
they
this
send their money
today,
to groups like Al Shabaab. They kill thousands of Christians in Africa.
Countries who have no want to assimilate here, and it's because the United States for decades has simply imported their families, their culture, and their entire country for them. It's why you have Ilhan Omar, who is representing Minnesota, now advocating on behalf of Omar Fateh, who's trying to run for mayor. And they're running on a Somalia first policy. They don't care about the United States of America. They are on camera stating that they are in American politics for the interest of Somalia. So this is a part of a greater series that I'm doing. I'm trying to hit Michigan as well because we know what's going on over there in Dearborn. I want to go up to Dallas. I know that there's a large, pardon, Alex, I'm not used to talking this long, Indian community up that way. So I'm just interested in, again, this lack of assimilation and how we got here. So this Minnesota story was one part of that. And it was really crazy to see, again, that very different demographic and culture over that way.
Well, look, people are done being bullied by this. And when Ilhan Omar and the rest of them say America's been to slavery, her family was the ruling family that fell and got saved 20-something years ago and brought here. They literally ran slavery. Slavery's legal there. She's literally a slaver. The main business in Somalia is selling black slaves and piracy. So these are literal, actual slavers lecturing white people when most people don't know, most Americans' ancestors came here after the Civil War. Only 2% had slaves in the South during it. So there's this tiny fraction of people that even have an ancestor that had slaves. These people literally are slave masters, and they want to lecture us all day. It's a hoax. It's crazy.
Yeah, Alex, and the ties to the Somali community and rampant fraud in Minnesota and Minneapolis specifically are absolutely insane. They have Somali gangs over there.
They hired 2 non-citizen Somalis, remember? And both of them killed innocent people and lost the badge.
Yeah, Alex, it's pretty. I mean, we're even seeing in Chicago, they hired an illegal immigrant over that way to be a police officer. So where are we at as a country if you now have illegal immigrants, the same ones that are taught to hate the United States of America and taught that our foundations are racist and its people are racist, now being given firearms and a police badge? We're entering very dangerous territory. And again, similar to what's going on in Europe with the remigration movement, a lot of Americans feel the exact same way, where it's like, look, we were pro-legal immigration, but we are at a point where the legal immigration system has been abused. The illegal immigration has gotten out of hand. Nobody cares about the average American citizen. You can't afford a house, and that is due in part to the huge population that has been brought into the United States of America. We're competing with illegal and legal immigrants for jobs at this point, which is not helping the wages or, again, Americans to be able to get jobs. So there's a lot of moving pieces here with this issue. And like I said, Alex, people love to harp on the fact that my last name is Hernandez and tell me that I can't talk about this. I can't talk about this because I'm an American citizen, and I will talk about this because...
That's right. She's American citizen first, and she can talk about it. The judges and DAs who allow repeat violent offenders to devastate the lives of innocent people must be fired. The city of Chicago finally released the footage of the brutal, unprovoked attack of Kathleen Miles by suspect William Livingston after CWB Chicago filed a FOIA request. Livingston can be seen walking up behind Miles before punching her in the head, knocking her out, and sending her crashing into the pavement. Miles suffered multiple fractures and a concussion. She now struggles with everyday tasks. This thug was previously charged with assaulting 4 women in 2022, but faced minimal consequences and was allowed back on the streets. This is what happens in Democrat crime-infested cities. You guys ready? Watch. I don't know why they got a potato cam. You're going to see a boom. He hits this woman. Boom. Knocks her to the ground. And wants to hit this other woman. She's like, what are you doing? Oh, my God. Leave her alone. What the hell's wrong with you? The wealthy owned slaves and had fewer children, and poorer families had a lot of children to help with labor. The Kathleen Miles attack exposes the catastrophic failure of Chicago's revolving door criminal justice system. William Livingston's rap sheet, multiple violent assaults with minimal consequences, proves that soft on crime policies sacrifice public safety for political agendas. The Break the Silence of Violence Cycle of Violence Act pumps billions into community intervention programs while violent predators walk free. They prioritize feel-good bureaucracy over prosecuting repeat offenders. It's not progressive, it's malpractice. DC Democrats fund Section 101 grants for trauma-responsive care, but refuse to lock up the thugs who create the trauma. The Padilla-style grandstanding during federal operations shows where their priorities lie. Optics over order. To fund the grift, fund the cells. This is why I carry. I never walk too far from any destination. I also check my surroundings before I leave my car. That's right. Always be armed. ABA, people. Always be armed. We got this. This is interesting. Check this out. We got the New Hampshire Supreme Court Justice Anna Barbara Hance Marconi. Anna Barbara Hance Marconi pleaded guilty in a high-profile ethics scandal. A week later, she's back on the bench. A week after court found her guilty of trying to influence a criminal case against her husband, New Hampshire Public Attorney Director Gino Marconi. It's very clear that they did not want to bring the witness in because they're involved in so many high-profile public figures. I mean, these are the highest public figures in the state.
All right.
New Hampshire Supreme Court Justice Anna Barbara Hance Marconi returning to her seat on the bench on Wednesday with a smile on her face. Just a week after a court found her guilty of trying to influence a criminal case against her husband, New Hampshire Port Authority Director Gino Marconi.
Well, I think it's completely unprecedented. I don't think you could find a case anywhere where a judge engaged in such serious ethical violations and enters a plea to a criminal charge, and then 2 days later is back on the bench.
Well, she had to recuse herself from the first several cases.
For the record, Justice Hance Marconi is disqualified in this case.
Hance Marconi made it abundantly clear she was ready to be back at work.
Personal risk was the pulmonary embolism.
The charge against the justice stemmed from a private conversation that she had with then Governor Chris Sununu. In a sworn affidavit, Hance Marconi said that Chief Justice Gordon MacDonald had given her permission to meet with Sununu, but in court documents, MacDonald denied that.
It's very clear they did not want to bring witnesses in because they involve so many high-profile public figures. I mean, these are the highest public figures in the state.
This marks the first time in state history that a convicted criminal is sitting on the high court, something one former judge says raises serious concerns.
I mean, the ethical violations are the most severe kinds of ethical violations that a judge can face. It's not only is it unprecedented, it's unconscionable.
Why hasn't she been removed? Yeah, in a just world, she would have been disbarred and jailed. I don't know how if they elect their Supreme Court justices in that state or if they're appointed, but either way, the state should be able to get, the House of Representatives or the House of Delegates, whatever they have in that state, and their Senate or whatever, should be able to vote to have her taken off the bench, have her removed. What are they doing? It kind of doesn't look right, This is the same story. Progressive New Hampshire Supreme Court Justice Anna Barbara Hance Marconi is back on the bench just 1 week after pleading guilty to attempting to influence her husband's criminal case, with all felony charges dropped in favor of lesser charges. There's some double dealing going on there. But we already saw this, but I'm not going to play it again. But it's good to be a Democrat. If you don't impeach the corrupt judges, you cannot fix the country. They will form a cartel and block all reforms protecting the systemic corruption that put them in their seats. Yeah, she's a crook, but she's so bribable, so we got to keep her there. Now this. Breaking news, Jacqueline D. Grant, a Democrat-appointed judge, sentenced Leif Brynolf to just 15 days in jail and probation after he was convicted of assault for violently confronting an elderly wheelchair-bound man and a 12-year-old during Trump's visit to Hurricane Helene victims. He also pulled a knife as police attempted to escort him from the victims. 15 days in jail. 15 days. Unreal. Oh. Time to do what El Salvador did. Pathetic. If bartenders can go to jail for overserving a drunk person who drives, then judges should go to jail for criminals they released who killed someone. Convicted of assault with a deadly weapon on 2 police officers and got 15 days in jail. Our justice system is broken. Asheville, North Carolina is completely broken. It's a shame. We got a little bit of good news. This morning, FBI Milwaukee executed a major violent gang takedown called Operation Chalkline, utilizing 14 SWAT teams in Milwaukee and Racine. FBI's Milwaukee Special Agents and Task Force Officers, TFO, arrested 22 subjects on federal charges and executed 24 federal search warrants alongside local, state, and federal partners. Among the items seized in the investigation were more than 4 kilos of cocaine, 260 grams of fentanyl, 1.5 pounds of methamphetamines, 6 pounds of marijuana, 23 firearms, and 3 vehicles. The investigation was led by a Mount Pleasant Police Department TFO as part of the FBI Milwaukee Area Safe Streets Task Force that included TFOs from the Caledonia Police Department, Mount Pleasant Police Department, Racine County Sheriff's Office, and the Racine Police Department. Additional local, state, and federal law enforcement partners assisted in the operation, which included the Kudaya Police Department, Kudahi, I don't know, the Milwaukee Police Department, Oak Creek Police Department, West Allis Police Department, Wisconsin Department of Justice, Criminal Division, Wisconsin State Police Patrol, ATF, DEA, FBI, HSI, and U.S. Marshal Service. The FBI Milwaukee continues to prioritize crushing violent crime together with our law enforcement partners to ensure public safety and security in Milwaukee and throughout the state. The FBI. Hail to the yeah. Hails to the yeah. Yes. Cash Patel says one of our most significant violent gang takedowns to date here in Operation Chalkline. 22 arrests and major seizures, including 4 kilograms. We saw all that stuff. Excellent work. Well, that explains a lot. Why I can't get my meth anymore. The judge to have it all. That's right. Lock them up. Again with the word. Spectrum News says FBI arrests 22 suspects in violent gang takedown. The FBI Milwaukee said it took down a major street gang. Operation Chalkline was a long-term, multi-year criminal enterprise investigation which targeted the violent street gang operation in Milwaukee and Racine with direct connection to a major international cartel. The FBI special agents and task force officers arrested 22 people. The investigation, dubbed Operation Chalkline, was a long-term, multi-year criminal investigation which targeted a violent street gang operating in Milwaukee with direct connections to cartels. They executed 24 search warrants, most significant so far. They recovered 4 kilos and all this other stuff, marijuana, methamphetamines, guns. So this was just basically, what the fuck? That's it? That's your story is to tell me exactly what I read already? That's your story? You just quoted tweets? What the fuck? Got this. Be on the lookout. Thieves target a Tesla driver who just picked up money at the bank. This woman said that her father-in-law withdrew about $3,000 from a Bank of America in Tarzana before heading to a pharmacy in Woodland Hills. The family believes he was followed. Somebody from the bank notified them. There's somebody working in the bank. Okay, I'll tell you right now. Somebody working in a bank notified these people that this guy took out their money. They probably are waiting, and the teller alerts them when the person leaves the bank. This guy took out $3,000. This guy did this. That's how this happens. That's the only way this happens. There's an inside person working in the bank, most likely a teller.
Brazen thieves targeting a Tesla driver in Encino who had just picked up money at the bank. Dramatic video here showing one of them breaking the window and jumping all the way in to get the cash. A woman tells us her father-in-law picked up about $3,000 cash at a Bank of America in Tarzana earlier today. He left for a pharmacy in Woodland Hills and says, according to their footage, he was followed. Shortly after the man left his car, the video shows two men in a white Hyundai Tucson pulling up. This man in the mask breaks the Tesla's window, jumps all the way in, and in less than 30 seconds, they ran back to the getaway car and took off. The family has filed a police report to help catch the thieves. Brazen thieves targeting a...
Oh, I'm sorry to hear your brother's had his landscapers taken away by ICE last week. Sorry to say that... Yeah, I don't think so. Easy target of opportunity. How would they know there was anything in the fucking car to take if they weren't notified by the bank, dude? Come on. This doesn't... They don't just randomly stop cars and break in. They know what they're looking for. That the guy received, a teller. A bank bag, yeah. And a teller. They know what they're looking for. Somebody in the bank. All right. I have to open some more links. Give me a second here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, no. 10 seconds. Almost done. But I'm going a little long tonight for you guys, even though we didn't hit the goal, just because I feel bad. I'll miss it. All right. How are we doing tonight? Okay. They do it at a gas station all the time. Well, this wasn't a gas station. This was in a parking lot, and they pulled up, and they knew what they were getting in the car. They pumped the thing open and went in. I mean, dude, it's not... Yeah, I'd be looking for a teller who's on a phone during a transaction or immediately after. Yeah, that's all they got to do. They'll be able to see somebody send a text or something. This guy leaving now, something. Granson's sleeping well tonight. Yeah, that's why I was late. That's why the show started late, was because I was getting him to go back to sleep. And I didn't want to start, and so I let it run. He wasn't at an ATM. He went inside the bank and got cash. That's somebody notified him. Thank you. I enjoy the show. I wish I could learn more on the repost. No, don't worry about it. You know, it is what it is. So a judge is hearing arguments right now on whether the charges against Rep. LaMonica McIver should be dropped. Absolutely not. No one is above the law. Yeah, this thing that attacked ICE agents, if you remember, at the facility in New Jersey, throwing elbows and pushing and hitting people, they're trying to get the charges dismissed, saying she was there doing, no one is above the law, unless you're a Democrat. Yeah. Rep. McIver says that she has sleepless nights because of the possibility of spending 17 years behind bars for assaulting law enforcement officers. Maybe they called Miss Cleo at the Psychic Friends Network. Maybe. Possible. Oh, why is this?
Again, we're watching what they say, what they are charging.
Yeah, why is it like a potato can?
You could face 17 years in prison for go forward and to be convicted. Is there any part of your brain
if they drop the charge, we know we're a lost nation.
100% convinced that if you get an opportunity in court with a jury of your peers that you will be acquitted?
Well, one, I'm 100%, I believe 100% the facts are on my side. That's number one. I have faith in my legal team, faith in the judiciary system. However, it is very stressful, Chris. I am a mom, I'm a wife, I have family, and I have never been in trouble with the law ever. And so to hear, this prosecution saying that I can get 17 years in jail for showing up to do my job, for protecting the people that I represent who have elected me to protect them, it is definitely stressful.
She's not elected.
Nights
she's not elected by illegal aliens. She's not fucking elected by illegal aliens. What is wrong with these people?
are sleepless for me. I'm thinking about it, but it's just what we're dealing with this administration, and it's going to continue to happen. We are in a democracy crisis, we are in a constitutional crisis, and we're going to continue to see these types of things happen, underneath this administration, for sure.
Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, who represents her constituents.
Did she not just admit that they're illegal alien voters? Sounded like it, right?
Still had Trump planned.
It kind of sounded like it. I don't know why this had like a potato cam. So let's just be clear. This is the charges. She's charged for forcibly impeding and interfering with federal officers. They're dreamers, yeah. I know. So she was charged in a 3-count indictment for forcibly impeding and interfering with federal officers. She forcibly impeded and interfered. She hit them. It's on video. It's all on video. She's convicted maximum of 8 years and forcibly impeding, and another penalty of 8 years for forcibly impeding. And then she also faces a 1-year penalty for count 3. All right. But the judge ruled that that social media posts in McIver's prosecution are prejudicial and should be removed. So the videos that show her hitting people, they don't want them out there. They're prejudicial. Her actions are prejudicial. A federal judge overseeing the prosecution of her that she assaulted and impeded immigration officers outside the detention center told the government to remove social media posts he called prejudicial to the Congresswoman. Judge Jamel Semper heard pretrial arguments in the case brought by Republican President Donald Trump's Justice Department. Why just the Justice Department? Against the Congresswoman. Semper didn't issue a ruling from the bench, but told the government's attorney 9 social media posts should be removed. The post, which came from Homeland Security's X account, as well as the account of one of its spokespeople, referred to the visit as a reckless stunt by sanctuary politicians. The visit was not about oversight. A key point from the Congresswoman and other lawmakers who accompanied her to the it's not factual. The prejudicial nature of it is self-evident. I'd say it's factual, but she didn't do nothing. Yeah. McIver's attorneys have argued that the department's post could imperil her chances for a fair trial. The judge also told the government to turn over additional video footage to McIver and her attorneys that they did not receive the footage they knew existed but wasn't turned over. He also said he wouldn't take time to review the motion to dismiss the case against her based on her right as a member of Congress to conduct oversight of the federal government. She doesn't have a right to assault federal agents. McIver, a Democrat, was charged by Alina Habba following a May 9th visit when she physically attacked. She punched a fucking federal agent. It's on video. Yeah, the process does not stop me from doing my job. She was indicted on 3 counts. Assaulting, resisting, and impeding, interfering with federal agents. And 2 counts carry a maximum term of 8. Among those at her side was other representatives, Bonnie Watts Coleman, Rob Menendez, and Nellie Poe, alongside Newark Mayor Ross Baraka, who they should have never dropped the charges. They let Ross Baraka go as a sign of good faith, even though he should have been arrested for trespassing. He had no right to be there. He's not a member of Congress. He was arrested on a trespassing charge and was later dropped. And he's suing Habba over what he calls malicious prosecution. They should charge him again. A nearly 2-minute video clip released by the Homeland Security shows McIver at the facility inside a chain-link fence just before Baraka's arrest on the other side of the barrier where the people were protesting. McIver and uniformed officials go through the gate. She joins others shouting, and they circle the mayor. The video shows McIver and a tightly packed group of people. At one point, her left elbow and her right elbow push into an officer. Another video shows her punching a fucking officer. It's not clear from the body cam video if the contact was intentional, incidental, or result of jostling. She was throwing fucking punches and elbows. It's clear from the video, you lying cocksuckers. The government's complaint alleged that she slammed her forearm into an agent and tried to restrain the agent by grabbing him. The indictment also claims she placed her arm around the mayor and tried to stop his arrest. Members of Congress are legally authorized to go into federal immigration as part of their oversight, even without notice. Congress passed a 2019 appropriations bill spelling out that authority. MacGyver first came into Congress in September in a special election after the death of Ronnie Payne Jr. Yeah, I saw the punches too. BLM helped make the constitutional crisis normal. Yeah, she didn't do nothing. She asked to go in. This is, Haba is told to release more videos in the assault case against the congresswoman. Judge overseeing the case told him to release more video. No, mayors are not included into the group that can legally go in. No. They can't just go and barge in. They have to set up the thing. They have to, it's a prison basically. They don't just let people come in without being announced and stuff like that. So it's all bullshit. A federal judge overseeing the case of a congresswoman who assaulted, punched, kicked, slapped, and elbowed federal agents told them to turn over additional videos. Told them to make sure they remove these posts. New Jersey mayor arrested after trying to enter the ICE facility. He has no authority to go in. Yeah, so MacGyver pleaded not guilty. She would have never been charged if she was a Republican. Paul J. Fishman, one of her lawyers, said that's bullshit. If she was a Republican and she was hitting and elbowing people, she would have been charged. If it was the Biden administration, they would have kicked down her fucking door at 5 a.m. and she'd have sat in the D.C. jail for a fucking year before she even saw a judge. Because that's what they do to Republicans, remember? The U.S. Attorney's Office said that it simply does not make any sense that her conduct should be protected by the speech and debate clause, even if a visit began as an official act. He cited an 1856 case involving the beating of one member of Congress by another, although he incorrectly identified the lawmakers involved. Defense lawyers and the judge noted in court. Footage from dozens of video cameras include at least 11 agent-borne body cameras capturing portions of the brief but volatile interaction. Delaney Hall. He ordered the Justice Department to search for text messages sent that day by ICE and Homeland Security agents in which MacGyver's legal team is seeking. Why would they get text messages? They're not entitled to text messages. That's bullshit. They thought that bringing charges against a black woman from the city of Newark would send a message to the rest of America. How's it about race? And don't forget, it would all be on video, even if they aren't supposed to do that. Yeah. Yeah, when they're not killing Republicans and openly celebrating their death. Yeah. Democrat Congresswoman appears in court to fight charges she interfered with ICE arrest. No, she assaulted ICE officers. She appeared in federal court. Attorneys argued that she's being selectively and vindictively prosecuted because her political views are at odds with the Trump administration. It's on video what she did. Anyway. Then we got this. The judge in the Comey case is already making his clear that he will nitpick everything from the Trump DOJ to the point of sounding absurd. This is for the judge Michael Nakamov's order yesterday denying U.S. Attorney request to expedite approval of a filter team to review potential privileged materials in the case. Keep in mind, Patrick Fitzgerald was brought on board September 29th. Comey was arranged October 8th, after which Namakoff set a motion schedule with the October 20th deadline. Halligan's first motion related to the filter team was October 13th, and then entered a motion to expedite October 19th. Yet, Yakimov expected the DOJ to prepare a proposal for a filter team immediately before the indictment, before the arraignment, because the government, not under Trump, mind you, has had the evidence pursuant to another investigation for years. And Nakama claims Fitzgerald's conflict was obvious years ago because the 2019 DOJ IG report identified him as a conduit in Comey's leak of confidential and some instances classified information. This is absurd. It reminds me of the time Judge Chutkan told Trump attorneys in the J6 case they should have been reading discovery evidence in the case before the indictment to prepare for trial. Hopefully a motion to recuse is forthcoming. Apparently failed to seek the guidance with respect to filter before October 13th. Before he was indicted, they should have got this filter team. Yeah. If we don't impeach the corrupt judges, they will form a cartel and block everything. James Comey is trying to rig his own trial. He can't testify. He's my lawyer. So a guy that Comey leaked to, how is this guy possibly could be a lawyer?
Now we have a very interesting and maybe very successful move by the prosecutors. They say Comey's lead defense attorney, a man by the name of Patrick Fitzgerald, should not be representing him or handling the case because he had an alleged role in 2017 of media disclosures of classified information after Trump fired Comey as FBI director. So James Comey, when we say lawyer up, I don't know what type of deal he had, may have to lawyer up again. But why should Fitzgerald be able to represent him when he's sort of tied to him in such an allegedly nefarious way?
Exactly. I mean, this is the swamp. You have James Comey trying to rig the trial against him by taking up the potential witnesses and saying, oh, no, they're actually representing me. They're my crooked lawyers, not a witness that I leaked to, classified information. I mean, this is unbelievable. They think none of the rules apply to them. It is so perfect that this is James Comey's tactics, but the prosecutors are so smart to go after this. I mean, he should be a witness. This builds the case against Comey, and yet he thinks he can just rig it with the swamp and all his buddies. And
not so
I don't
fast.
think it's going to work.
Also, the
It's a new move by federal prosecutors against Comey legal team. Lead prosecutor may have a conflict that disqualifies him. Federal prosecutors cite a 2018-19 DOJ watchdog report that found Comey leaked to Fitzgerald. The inspector general concluded Fitzgerald received multiple Comey memos about his meetings with President Trump, including at least one memo containing classified information. Oh, okay. You're going to head to bed. Kiddos have school in the morning. Have a good night. Thanks, Fox Blade. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. This fact raises a question of conflict and disqualification for the current lead defense counsel. Some of the communications in the potentially protected material are from the same time as the focus of the DOJ OIG report. I don't think it's the same Patrick Fitzgerald. I think it's Patrick Fitzgerald who used to be a U.S. attorney. Last week we questioned Fitzgerald's potential conflict of interest. Okay. Justice Department watchdog concluded Comey set a dangerous example when he shared personal memos documenting his private meetings with President Trump about Russia's collusion probe. According to Inspector General reports, several memos were shared with the Columbia law professor Daniel Rickman. Rickman is suspected to be a central witness in the pending federal prosecution against Comey. Inspector General also found attorney Patrick Fitzgerald received multiple Comey memos about the Trump meetings, including at least one that contained classified information. Fitzgerald is now representing Comey. Question, is there a conflict or the appearance of a conflict? Does it cross any legal or ethical red lines? Rickman has not responded to our team's multiple requests for comment, seeking additional comment. Comey sends scanned copies of memos 2467 to his personal email account to a personal account of one of his attorneys, Patrick Fitzgerald. Yeah, if an attorney is participating in the crime with you, they don't have attorney-client privilege. The FBI designated memos, but by not safeguarding sensitive information obtained during the course of this investigation and employment, and using it to create public pressure for official action, Comey set a dangerous example. Yeah. What the MSM won't dare examine is after everything that Horowitz, Durham, and congressional investigators discovered about Comey, why didn't the Garland DOJ bother to investigate, let alone charge him for potential criminal activity? Oh, Joe forgot to raid me? Are you serious? Well, shit happens. Said he set it up. No Riz. Oh well. They did that to Trump's lawyers. Yep, they sure did. I only kind of stayed running. Joe actually didn't end his stream. He's back on. Comey, who's under federal indictment. So you said Joe, where was it? Joe forgot to raid me. He actually didn't end Tasmanian Rebel. He's still going right now. Something happened with StreamYard. It kicked him out, but he's back. You want to go finish watching him and then come back later. Comey, who's under federal indictment for criminal leaked classified memos to Fitzgerald in 2017. Fitzgerald is a fact witness at his trial, as are a number of Comey's attorneys. This is a long-time tactic of Comey's. He hires attorneys he leaks to that pretends they can't be questioned because of attorney-client privilege. He did the same illegal arrangement with Daniel Rickman. Protect the woke state. Yeah, that's them. Look at this. This is very disturbing story. A sitting North Carolina Democratic Representative Cecil Brockman, who is currently sitting in prison after being charged with statutory rape of a minor, is refusing to resign. Oh, thank you. I had Joe on screen 3. Of course, you're on screen 1. Well, I appreciate it. He is still on the Agriculture, Health, and Education committees despite being in prison. How is this possible? This guy. And yes, that is his name on a youth academic center in North Carolina. To my knowledge, this still has his name on it and it's not been removed. How is this being allowed? Why hasn't he been impeached from office? This should have been done day one. Yeah, he shouldn't be given a choice. No. The sicko needs to be fired. Should have been impeached weeks ago. He's sitting in prison, not representing the people of High Point, North Carolina. And based on all the evidence available, he absolutely has no business representing anyone anywhere in North Carolina. Because I am developing my neuroplasticity by chatting to both y'all's chats. Well, I appreciate that. 90% of Democrats are criminals, just not caught yet. Cecil Brockman actively opposed the Parents' Bill of Rights. Do you know what that bill did? Prohibited teaching about sexuality and gender identity in classrooms. Cecil Brockman voted to block the bill. It all makes sense. It ain't just new. Just a few examples. Let's see. Mario Bagaji served in the House of Representatives after being convicted of federal official gratuity, mail fraud, RICO charges. Frank Brosco served in the House of Representatives while in prison for conspiracy. Ernest K. Bramblett served in the House of Representatives while convicted of payroll fraud. Frank Boykin served in the House of Representatives while convicted of federal official conflict of interest conspiracy to defraud the United States. Yeah, it happens all the time. Happens all the time. But with George Santos, if you remember correctly, they kicked him out before he was even convicted of anything, before anything happened. Right away, they kicked him out of the House. Why? Because they wanted that seat. It's all about power. We got this. This is very interesting. I saw this and I said, oh, my viewers gotta hear about this. There's a race for governor in Virginia. All right, because Virginia has these weird rules where you can only serve like one term. You can't serve more than one term. So there's a governor's race, and Winsome Sears is running against Abigail Spanberger. Well, they're both women. And believe it or not, Winsome Sears, the Republican, is a black woman. But according to MSNBC, you're going to find out why the reason Abigail Spanberger isn't doing well is because of sexism. Yes, sexism.
It really is incredible when you have Abigail Spanberger, Mikey Sherrill, her background, all the different jobs that she has held in the military, and also like Alyssa Slotkin. Yeah. I mean, my God, these women are incredible. And to them, I would say, fight, because we need them.
Yeah.
We need them.
No, we don't.
Leading. And Mikey is like, she's doing a ton of interview. You know, when I talked to that, when I was in the car, you know, it was this car, she had gone from interview to talk to, but you know, you still see the anxiety.
Yeah, Cheryl did have a few missteps in her campaign, but she still has, as you say, about a 5 or 6 point lead per polling. Spanberger's lead in Virginia a little bigger than that, but you know, both still competitive races here heading into the last couple of weeks. But to Mika, to Molly's point, I mean, this is something that a lot of Democrats are grappling with right now. So they've nominated women 2 of the last 3 elections for the presidency, lost both. There are some who say, well, we can't do that again. The stakes are too high. But of course, that does fall into the same misogynistic trap.
Other countries have no problem electing women.
Oh, it only counts if it's a Democrat woman. Oh. So you're saying they are incapable of holding a job? Maybe. Is it healthy having a corpse in a suit on a TV set? I don't know. It's weird, too, that this woman who's on there says how she was going in car rides with this person running for office and doing all this stuff. How is she an impartial arbiter of the facts of news if she's actively working with one of these politicians? Seems like maybe there's a little bias there. Just a little bit. LB, a little bit. Little bit. Mm-hmm. Little bit. Do other countries have trouble electing women in races where both candidates are women? Yeah. Odd, right? The reason Abigail Spanberger is struggling is because Americans are sexist. Other countries have no problem electing women. Huh. Very interesting. This is it, white progressives. Female conservatives don't count as real women, just as black conservatives aren't authentically black. That's what they're saying. And the intersectional math of being both black and female suddenly doesn't compute. This is why they tried to preemptively declare logic as white supremacy. Basically, Winsome is a white dude. Very true. If a conservative black man and a number of white women who have something to say about my blackness is unreal. They need to turn on their Taylor Swift album, sip their pumpkin spice latte, and mind their own business. So where's the man in this equation? Yeah. Panic is spiraling in the gubernatorial campaign of Abigail Spanberger and Mickey Sherrill. Black turnout is lagging. As a result, Barack Hussein Obama is being dragged out to 2 separate rallies in each state on November 1st. He's going to tell the black men, you got to get out there and vote. You got to get out there and vote. They're going to put you back in chains. The half-white homosexual married to a tranny communist lectures the brothers on how to be a strong black man. Oh, that's funny. It was only one dick. That's what he says. I only sucked one dick. That's what he's saying. All right, now some sanity. We're going to get a little sanity from the Democrat Party, maybe. Just a little sanity. Little sanity. From the guy who has brain damage. Shut our government down and American loses. 2 million Pennsylvanians depend on SNAP to feed their families. For me, it's hungry Americans over party. Paying our military over party. Paying Capitol Police and federal workers over party. I choose country over party. Where is the real
Here we
John?
are, and our government remains closed. And I think that's failure. And I'm the guy that's going to consistently vote for country over party. I'm always going to vote for paying our military over the party. I'm always going to vote for paying the Capitol Police over my party. And I'm going to continue to fight for the 2 million Pennsylvanians that depend on SNAP to feed themselves. And I'm also going to fight for the same 400,020 Pennsylvanians that depend on those tax credits to make health insurance more affordable. 2 things are true, and now we can fight for all of them as long as our government is open. My vote is going to remain firmly on keeping our government open, and I'm going to continue to fight for all of those Pennsylvanians that I'm honored to represent here. Hi, here we are.
That's awesome, man. You see, Senator Fetterman claims country over party. While Democrats hold SNAP recipients hostage to protect ACA tax credits for wealthy enrollees. The shutdown persists because Schumer's caucus refuses to pass the clean funding bill House Republicans approved weeks ago, prioritizing healthcare subsidies over feeding Americans. Representative Reschenthal nailed it. Or Reschenthal or whatever. Democrats blocked 11 votes to reopen the government, demanding taxpayer-funded benefits for illegal aliens. It's no fun being an illegal alien. Real leadership means cutting waste, not weaponizing nutrition programs to push ideological agendas. Yeah, that stroke. You know, what happened to him after the stroke? I kind of am hoping maybe he could get. I don't know. You know, maybe some other strokes could happen and straighten their brains out. Prioritize citizens, not law breakers. Yeah. You got, Senate Minority Leader AOC says the government will stay closed until every illegal immigrant has access to free health care. He was like this before the stroke, was he? Okay. I didn't know much about him. I heard rumors he was a communist. Oh, yes. I didn't vote for this, and neither did 80 million Americans who elected President Trump, Ronnie Jackson. Let's see.
Let's bring in conservative Texas Congressman Admiral Ronnie Jackson. It's good to see you, sir. The government has been shut down for 3 weeks now? AOC and Bernie Sanders, they're doubling down on their demands for $1.5 trillion to fund leftist NGOs and illegal alien health care. Watch.
What does that need to look like before you would vote to reopen the government? Or is it commitment from the White House and Republicans enough?
No doubt.
I mean,
Mr. President is a very honest man. And if he says something, man, you could take it to the bank.
So you're saying his word is not enough? Bankruptcy court.
His word? No.
So what do you need to see? What commitments?
I think we need to see ink on paper. I think we need to see legislation. I think we need to see votes. And I think we need to see these things pass on the floor of the House and the Senate and signed by President Trump. I don't accept IOUs. I don't accept pinky promises. That's not the business that I'm in.
Yeah. Congressman, as you just heard me explain, Democrats plan on running on America's broken healthcare system. Why isn't it a universal talking point for the Republican Party that it was Democrats who broke the healthcare system and America is currently suffering under Obamacare?
Well, I agree with you, Chris. It needs to be. We need to be talking about that. They're portraying this completely inaccurately, though, right? The issue is health care right now. But you mentioned the issue right now is that they're trying to hold the American people hostage and they're trying to ransom. They want to undo all of the great things that we did in the one big beautiful bill, but to bring back $1.5 trillion of spending on providing health care for illegal aliens. $200 billion.
It's not up there.
So they can provide health care to non-citizens paid by taxpayers, right? Hardworking taxpayers that have difficulty already getting access to care because of the broken Obama's health care system. And they want us to pay for the health care for these illegal, undocumented immigrants. So we do need to do that. Look, a speaker has said he's willing and he expects to come back and talk about health care, about the subsidies involved with Obamacare. It does need to be fixed, but you're right. It doesn't need to be fixed by these far leftist, socialist, folks that are out there like Bernie Sanders and AOC. They don't want to fix it. They want to make it worse. They want to completely tie us to only one option: the government providing your health care. And you can look at multiple examples in government, and look at our post office or anything else that the government runs, and you can see you do not want them running your health care. It would be an absolute disaster. It's already trended down that. It's already gone down that path pretty far with Obamacare, but we do need to fix it. We'll talk about fixing it whenever the government's open back up, but we're not going to do it under hostage conditions that they're imposing right now.
Yeah.
So, and we're definitely not going to go.
I agree. If they give in, we all refuse to pay taxes.
Great things that were in the one big beautiful bill.
That's right. Great things that were in the one big beautiful bill. Yeah. The Democrats are now admitting that they are intentionally causing American families to suffer with their reckless government shutdown. What is wrong with them? Yeah, we're going to get whip number 2, a House Democrat on the Democrat shutdown. Of course, there will be families that are going to suffer, but it's one of the full leverage times we have, all right?
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leverage times we have.
Oh, so suffering gives them leverage. Yes. Stephen Chung. Odd Job. This guy looks like Odd Job from fucking... He looks like Odd Job from Goldfinger. If you guys ever seen the movie Goldfinger, Odd Job. It's a big dude. Democrats are openly admitting that they are using the shutdown and the pain of Americans for their demented political games. They're complete freaks. Mike Johnson put that on a screen outside his office on a loop. Yeah. Holy smokes, in a shocking move, the number 2 House Democrat Catherine Clark said the quiet part out loud regarding the shutdown. Suffering is their tool. Of course, there will be families that are going to suffer. It's one of the few leverage times we have. Well, Democrats weaponize shutdowns to push their open borders agenda, admitting that they let families suffer for political leverage. Their clarification and spending bills are Trojan horses, expanding benefits for illegal aliens, draining resources meant for citizens. Trump's shutdown stance forces accountability, cut waste, fund America's first, reject globalist handouts. Every dollar diverted to illegal immigration is stolen from veterans, seniors, and working families. Dems prioritize chaos over solutions, holding basic governance hostage to normalize lawlessness. Real leadership protects taxpayers. It doesn't reward border surges. Yeah, we are pawns in their war, nothing more. Yeah, it shows how much they care for the working man. We've been going 3.5 hours, just so everyone knows. All right. I'm not going to quit just yet. I'm going to go a little longer, even though we didn't hit the goal. So, but if you want to throw in, I'll add another hour if we hit the $40 at any point in time. I'll add an hour if we hit it. But I don't know. Maybe we'll go another half hour. We'll see. It's that should make up for last night's stuff. But what I am going to do right now is I'm going to end on Instagram and X before I forget. So, yeah, 3.5. Yippee! Yeah, we've gone 3.5 hours. So I'm going to end on X and on Instagram because they have to end anyway. So if you're on X or Instagram, come on over to YouTube or Rumble or Twitch or Kick or Facebook. Bye-bye, Instagram. Bye-bye, X. Jim will tell you some news tomorrow. All right. Thank God those people are gone. Oh. You missed the first hour. We'll watch it later. Okay. Yeah, here it is. So we saw this already. An unhinged Whip Clark accuses press secretary of lying after she quoted the congressman's own words from an interview she did on tape. Democrats are not sending their best. Yeah. Here she is. She's going to say that they're lying by playing what she said.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt just posted a clip of an interview that you did on Fox last week. You were answering a question from Fox's Chad Pergram about blame for the shutdown. I want to look at the post here.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leverage times we have.
Leavitt is looking especially at that last bit you said there, saying that Democrats, quote, are now admitting that they are intentionally causing American families to suffer with their reckless government shutdown. What's your response to that?
Well, that is right out of her playbook of half-truths, taking things out of context.
It's exactly what you said, lady. We just listened to it. Taken out of context. That's exactly what you said.
And not being straight with the American people. And she knows what I said.
White House Press Secretary.
We played what you said, lady. Mm-hmm. The real reason the government is still shut down, a Democrat senator anonymously said that they are afraid to vote to open the government because we'd face the guillotine. These are their words.
Here's what I think. The president said today he'd be happy to meet with the Democrats if they stop holding the government hostage. They could easily walk in there tonight, pass the CR, give us 7 weeks. The president brings everybody together. And my strong belief is that they would wind up negotiating on a number of issues, and they would come to an agreement. The president doesn't want to negotiate under duress. In the Hill today, a Democrat senator anonymously said, none of us want to vote to open the government because, quote, we'd face the guillotine. That's their words from our base.
Yeah,
That's why
look, I think you just made a very important.
Here's what I think. The president said today he'd be happy to meet with.
Huh. And so here's the receipts, because if people want to say Scott Jennings was lying, it's here in the Hill. Right here. A second person familiar with the political dynamics within the Senate Democrat caucus who spoke to the Hill ahead of the No Kings protest said centrist senators are fearful of breaking with leaders while party activists are planning the anti-Trump rallies. We would have enough votes to reopen the government if people were not terrified of getting the guillotine, the second person said. You were over on X for a bit? Oh, okay. X is really weird. Like, I don't know. I don't get very many views on X. I generally use it just to try to get people to come to YouTube. Only 3 members of the Democrat caucus have voted to reopen the government: Fetterman, Catherine Cortez Masto, and Angus King. But Angus King's an independent. So. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Jeffries does not deny that there's $13 million for Zimbabwe. He just calls you an extremist for asking. $13.4 million for civic engagement in Zimbabwe, $3.9 million for LGBTQ democracy grants in the Balkans. When asked by Allison Inzano about these foreign policy programs buried in the $1.5 trillion spending wish list, Jeffries had one response. We have no idea what you're talking about or what Republican extremists fed you those talking points. No denial, no clarification, just deflection. This Timu to Obama, dollar store Obama sucks. Instead of explaining where your tax dollars are going, Democrats go on the attack while defending global pet projects in the name of healthcare. Their question still stands. Why are Americans being told to sacrifice while their money is sent overseas?
Can you just speak to some of the programs that Democrats want funding for in the $1.5 trillion list of demands? We've heard things like $13.4 million for civic engagement in Zimbabwe, $3.9 million for LGBTQ democracy grants in the Balkans, things like this. You guys say this is about saving healthcare, but how do these pet projects fit
Yeah, we
in?
have no idea what you're talking about or what Republican extremists fed you those talking points. But the reality is what we are doing is defending the health care of the American people. Yeah, we do want to restore the fact that the largest cut to Medicaid in American history has been visited upon the American people by Donald Trump and Republicans, even though they promised to love and cherish Medicaid. But instead of doing that, they cut about $1 trillion from Medicaid. And as a result of that fact, hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health centers are closing all across the country, including in Republican states.
Oh, okay.
Like Georgia, like Alabama. And Republican states all across the country. And Republicans have visited the largest cut to Medicaid in American history on their own people. That's what we want to restore.
Oh, okay.
We want to avoid the fact that because of what Republicans did in their one big ugly bill, what they did,
none of the stuff in the one big beautiful bill takes effect until after November. So what the fuck is he talking about?
Ability of a $536 billion cut to Medicare, because Republicans have put a bullseye on Medicare and Social Security since those earned benefits were created. And yeah, we have a problem with the fact that Republicans want to devastate the Medicare of the American people. And why did they do that? Why did they cut Medicaid by almost $1 trillion? Because they want to reward their billionaire donors with massive tax breaks. And they made those massive tax breaks permanent. While at the same time, can't even be bothered to extend Affordable Care Act tax credits for working class Americans who are about to experience dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles. The American people know that Democrats are fighting for them, for working class America, for middle class America, and for everyday Americans, and that Republicans continue to show up for the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected.
Okay. Well, then they should have no problem winning the election next year. They should be able to sweep if all the stuff he's saying is true. But they're lying. All right, now we're going to get into this. This is some sick shit here, man. This Maine Democrat Plattner is on defense over tattoo. He takes a pages from Trump book to keep up the Senate bid. This guy. AP coverage is very different for their favorite party. Trump Pentagon pick had been flagged by fellow service members as a possible insider threat. See how the difference is? The premise is they lie. How a character after you, white suspect, Maryland dad. Oh, really? You? See? Yeah, see? Look at you got, ABC News, the Obama administration is married to the head of ABC News. Ben Rhodes' brother is the head of CBS News. Liz Sherwood's husband is Ben Sherwood from ABC News. Clinton administration, CNN, they're married. Obama administration, oh, look at this. Jay Carney married to this guy. They're all interconnected. The news, Chris Cuomo, Andy Cuomo governor, Gloria Rivera, Jim Scudo. These people are all, Laura Jarrett and Valerie Jarrett. They're a mother-daughter. It's one big happy family in the media. You know what I mean? But they'll tell you that they brainwashed you, really. And, fell on a stage, sharpest attack. This is the most trusted name in news. Yeah. I'm trying to get Biden in 2020, get him over there. Ukraine, quid pro Joe, where's Hunter, racist remarks. Yeah, see, it's all there. Yeah. Covered up from the ex-Marine, Graham Plattner taught military tactics, recruited for the socialist paramilitary group in Maine. Reddit posts reveal in a battle Progressive Star recruited and provided firearms training for the Maine Socialist Rifle Association. Oh, there he is. Oh. Look at him. Sullivan aquaculturist Graham Plattner, the ex-Marine running against Janet Mills for the Democrat U.S. Senate nomination, instructed members of the Socialist Rifle Association. The Progressive Star revealed in a 2020 post they provided advanced firearm instructions to a far-left group, including defensive handgun course, shortly after Black Lives Matter riots erupted. Read the full story here. Yep. This guy was training Antifa. And he wants to be a senator from Maine. It says, F that unironic communist and national socialist, and F your soft as a baby shit headline, you disingenuous left scum. This is the guy. He's got this. Look at his tattoo on his chest. That's called a Totenkopf. That's a Nazi death head skull this guy has tattooed on his chest. What? What? Reddit posts reveal that he trained the socialists, which are these are communists, just call them what they are. The Progressive Star revealed in the post, in response to a comment about tactical dare, Plattner posted the following under his handle, P Hustle, referring to his training sessions. All we do is lots of range days, firearm education classes, developing mutual aid networks in our community. Just put on a defensive handgun course weeks ago. We do monthly introduction to firearm courses. We have put together a solid curriculum to build proficiency among our membership. Plattner made dozens of posts under the Socialist Rifle Association subreddit, but that particular comment fell under tactical gear. NRA is in trouble. F them. In a separate post, he appeared to recruit for the organization, encouraging Reddit users to move to Maine to check out the group. We're quite active. One post on X showed the firearm training session. Socialist Rifle Association came to national attention following the assassination of Christian activist Charlie Kirk and indications that his assassin has connections to the far-left militant group. The paramilitary group claims to have more than 10,000 members and has faced scrutiny in the national media over ties to armed confrontations with law enforcement. In Maine, the group has never been linked to any violence or criminal conduct. I think weren't they connected to those people that killed those people in Maine? Trantifa, whatever it was, the Zixi, Zinix or something cult. Zemzers. Under a 2023 Statner, Plattner could be found guilty of a Class D crime if the firearm instruction he provided had the goal of causing civil disorder or injury to another person. Man, why does it seem all the crazies? You pop in Side Scroller's live chat for a minute and say hi in the chat. They've had over 3,100 gifted subs, a bunch of floating. Takes a minute to show up and you say hi, you get one. I don't know who that is. Images posted by the Maine Socialist Rifle Association. Plattner instructed them. They have 20 members. Oh. Socialist Rifle Association. What is community defense? Pride Month Range Day. What do you know? With the lobsters. Oh, yeah. On Monday, Plattner sent shockwaves through the political media by revealing on Pod Save America that he has one of the most famous Nazi symbols tattooed on his chest and has, for some reason, not had it removed in 17 years since he drunkenly stumbled into a tattoo parlor in Split, Croatia. What's a lobster have to do with pride? I don't know. Maybe they're doing something with them. Maybe they stick them somewhere. This is how the AP covers the story. On the defense over a tattoo. Maine U.S. Senate candidate revealed Tuesday that he was tattooed years ago with an image widely recognized as a Nazi symbol. Is it widely recognized as a Nazi symbol, or is it a fucking Nazi symbol? It's a fucking Nazi symbol. He dismissed the connotation and chalked it up to a drunken Marine's attempt at fearsomeness. He said he had plans to have a tattoo removed, but he just never did. You know, he's the latest Democrat candidate to shrug off revelations about their past, reflecting a new era in politics. Because it's all Trump's example. Yeah, Trump just brushed off examples of having Nazi fucking symbols tattooed on him. What are you fucking talking about? This would have been a campaign ending a decade ago, but now the Democrats don't fucking care. They'll run anybody. The new revelation comes close behind the discovery of a series of controversial online statements, including one in which he dismissed sexual assault in the military. It also follows a pattern set by Jay Jones, this year's Democrat nominee for Attorney General of Virginia, who has refused to drop out of the race even after text messages surfaced in which he suggested that a prominent rep should get 2 bullets to the head and that her kids should die in her arms. This guy. Jones apologized and said, which also includes suggestion that the then Republican opponent's children face the same fate. Jones had stayed in the race because, you know, to Democrats, the only thing that matters is that they win. Mm-hmm. Plattner, a Democrat and oyster farmer, has sparked buzz among progressives, notably because he says he's a fucking communist. So that's what they like him, commies. The 2 Democrats are vying for a chance to challenge the 30-year incumbent Republican Susan Collins. Plattner attempted to explain his past online comments in a video post, and that he addressed not only his previous comments dismissing military sexual assaults, but also questioning black patrons' gratuity habits and criticizing police officers and rural Americans. I see someone I don't recognize, he said in a 5 minute apology video. Plattner sought to further distance himself from comments posted online between 2013 and 2021 during an interview with the Pod Save America podcast. That was a moment in time when I've not been exposed to things and I had opinions or thought that may have colored my experience in the service. I don't know many communists, people that supported communism in the service. That's just me. Plattner himself brought up the tattoo, which he said he received in 2007 when he was in his 20s. He said he got it in Kosovo while on leave with the Marines during a night of drinking. A video aired during the progress shows Plattner dancing shirtless with tattoo visible on his upper chest. He said he and his fellow Marines chose a terrifying-looking skull and crossbones off the wall because we were Marines and, skulls and crossbones are a pretty standard military thing. I'd like to know if anyone else in his unit has that tattoo. I really would. I don't think there'd be that many people that stupid to get that tattoo. Even for, people that eat crayons. The prominent anti-Semitism advocacy group, the Anti-Defamation League, reviewed the video and recognized the image as a tattoo specific to Hitler's paramilitary Schwarzenstaffel, or SS, and was responsible for the systematic murders of millions of Jews and others in Europe during World War II. This appears to be a Nazi Totenkopf tattoo, and if true, is it troubling that a candidate for high office would have one? You don't say. But I bet you if he makes it out of the primary into the general, the ADL will support him. Because they're just a Democrat organization. We do understand that sometimes people get tattoos without understanding their hateful association. In those cases, the bearer should be asked whether they repudiate its hateful meaning. Oh, really? That's all you require now? Oh. It never came up. In a statement to Associated Press, it was not until I started hearing from reporters that I realized his tattoo resembled a Nazi symbol. That's really what this guy's going with, and they're going to fucking play this off that he had no idea what that was? I'm already planning to get it removed. Oh, he only had 20 years. He added that in 20 years since he got the tattoo, he enlisted in the Army, which involved a full physical exam for hate symbols. I also passed a full background check to receive a security clearance to join the ambassador to Afghanistan security detail. The notion of this tattoo as a Nazi symbol never came up. But a former top Plattner staffer said he should have known. Maybe he didn't know when he got it, but he got it years ago, and he should have had it covered up because he knows damn well what it means. Who quit the campaign last week, person said. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, who endorses Plattner, was sticking with the candidate, telling reporters he's an excellent candidate. I'm going to support him. Oh. So they're trying to somehow blame it on Trump. Trump won after the Access Hollywood tape and the Very Fine People hoax. Oh, referred to Very Fine People. You know damn well that's not what the fuck happened. You're going to go with that hoax, you fucking cocksuckers at EAP. I said some Democrats, Republicans can call calls to bow out. Why can't we? And during the Attorney General campaign debate last week, Jones raised a very issue, referring to Trump's speech urging supporters to contest the 2020 presidential election, which he lost. No, he didn't. He won. He got stolen. Before many of them stormed the Capitol. Yeah. What about Trump using incendiary language to incite a riot to try to overturn the election? That didn't happen. Didn't fucking happen. Go protest peacefully and patriotically. He was trying to incite a riot to overturn the election. We know for a fact the fucking Fedsurrection, man. How many FBI agents? 250 undercover FBI agents that they know of now, plus all the other people. Please. But that's not the only place that we got this problem. We got this problem in New York. We got taqiyya, a religious concept that allows Muslims to lie, deceive, or hide their beliefs if it helps them spread Islam or protect its agenda. Don't be fooled by the mass. Sometimes tolerance is just a strategy. Remember. Yeah. Zoran is an Islamic extremist infiltrating illegitimate halls of power. This is Zoran Mandami. We came here to remake the state in our image of our people. This is Zoran Mandami, all right? Wearing a mask. Talking. Look at him.
We came here to remake this state in the image of our people.
We came here to remake this state in the image of our people. Huh. That's interesting. The footage is surfaced from 2019 where Zohran Mamdani claims it's an illusion that Muslims can become New Yorkers and assimilate into the city.
There is still, this illusion, and it's partially a result of settler colonialism, that all of us can become New Yorkers, that all of us can settle into the city. And yet there would be these moments where I would be reminded by someone whose intent was to tell me that you do not belong. And one of those first moments was on 9/11, when, before I knew what had happened, my teacher had pulled me and a Muslim classmate of mine out of the class and told us that something has happened and you may be bullied. And I want you to tell me if that happens. And frankly, I was lucky because most Muslim students in the city were not given that kind of care from their teachers. And yet
he was not in the US at 9/11. This is fucking bullshit. He's only been in the US like 10 years. What a fucking life.
In that moment, I realized that I was not simply another classmate in a middle school. I was distinct. And there was a marker of that distinction on me. And it was something that I would be reminded of again and again. Something when we came back from a trip abroad, being pulled aside at JFK by immigration agents in a double mirrored room, sitting me down on my own while my family was outside, and asking me if I had just attended a terrorist training camp. And if I had intentions of attacking this country, and if so, what were those plans? And it's something that has continued in the time since, where a few months ago, I went with a client of mine to a bankruptcy court, and as we're going into the court, the security guard takes me aside and pats me down with additional care and asks me multiple times if I have any weapons of mass destruction on me. And in these moments, the sense of not knowing where home is, they're amplified by what I would see around me.
Wow, that's crazy. They're going to elect this fucking guy? They're seriously going to elect this guy? That is crazy. That's just nuts. That's nuts. That's just nuts. It really is. That's just nuts. Crazy. I can't believe this is happening. I really can't. I really can't believe that's happening. I really can't believe it's happening in this country like this. It's crazy to me. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh, well. Yep, we're fucked. Yep, to take over one of America's largest cities, and it's all lies. Yeah, we're fucked. It is. Talk amongst my uncles was that mother's original was the name of his first wife, but he had a tattoo of her mother later. Not so bad. I can't understand it. I really can't. Zohran Mamdani completely changes the way he talks and sounds depending on what country he's in. Here are clips of him in America, South Africa, on a Turkish podcast during his hip-hop rapper days. This is absolutely insane. He's an actor.
This is Zohran Mamdani. He's running for mayor of New York. Here's what he normally sounds like.
We gather tonight in the wealthiest city, in the wealthiest country, in the history of the world.
But in an interview in South Africa, he sounded a little different.
I actually created a playlist for Mira, who also happens to be my mother. Nepotism and hard work goes a long way.
And in an interview with the Turkish-American podcast, Mamdani sounded different again.
I'll be honest with you, Brother Mansoum, is that at this point, not many people are thinking about it.
And here is Zohran during his rapper days.
You know, it would have been here earlier, but worldwide tour is a worldwide tour is a worldwide tour. Listen.
This is Zoran Mamdani.
Oh, wow. They got the Council of American Islamic Relations calling for a boycott of the New York Post over its accurate coverage in exposing Zohar Mamdani's deep ties to Imam Siraj Wahhaj. They hate the truth.
The New York Post has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The New York Post has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The New York Post has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The New York Post has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The New York
Oh, on to this next story. We've got author Michael Wolff sues Melania Trump, saying she threatened $1 billion suit over the Epstein-related claims. So he's suing her because she threatened to sue him. What's the suit over? What's he suing her for? Michael Wolff claims in a lawsuit that First Lady Melania Trump threatened to sue him for over $1 billion in damages if he didn't retract the Jeffrey Epstein-related statement he made about her. Wolff sought unspecified damages in a lawsuit filed Tuesday in the state Supreme Court in Manhattan. Spokesman for Melania issued a statement saying First Lady Melania Trump is proud to continue standing up to those who spread malicious and defamatory falsehoods as they desperately try to get undeserved attention for money and lawful conduct. In his lawsuit, Wolff said Melania and her husband, President Trump, have made a practice of threatening those who speak against them with costly legal actions to silence their speech, to intimidate their critics generally, and to extract unjustified payments in North Korean-style confessions and apologies. Looking to grab some discovery. Well, this is going to get removed to federal court immediately. He said the threats are designed to create a climate of fear in the nation so people can't freely, confidently exercise their First Amendment rights. You don't have a First Amendment right to defame somebody. According to the lawsuit, the threats are also meant to shut down an inquiry into the couple's involvement with Epstein, the notorious financier who killed himself. Did he kill himself? Did he? The lawsuit came on the day Melania Trump's lawyer had set as a deadline for Wolff to retract the statements, issue an apology, or pay damages to his client. The lawyer, Alejandro Brito, wrote on October 15th that he would be left with no alternative but to sue for over $1 billion after the statements had caused her overwhelming reputational and financial harm. Through his lawsuit, Wolff announced his intention to use the legal action to put the president and his wife under oath to answer questions about Epstein. Wolff said in the lawsuit that Melania Trump's threat to sue came over statements he made to the Daily Beast in 3 videos published on social media, though he added that some statements were incomplete phrases and were taken out of context. Others, the lawsuit said, were protected speech. For instance, the statement that Trumps were in a sham marriage, a trophy marriage, was a fair and justified statement of opinion. The lawsuit noted that Wolff never said Melania Trump was involved in any of Epstein's crimes. Among the statements the lawsuit said were true were those saying Melania Trump was very involved in Epstein's social circle, and she met her future husband. Donald Trump liked to have sex with his friends' wives and first slept with Melania on Epstein's private jet. What? If they had any Epstein evidence, they would have used it. And it added it was proper to find out what happened to Mr. Trump and Epstein's 10-year pursuing models. Oh my God. According to the lawsuit, there will be one of the zones of inquiry that the lawsuit will undertake. That Wolff conducted interviews with Epstein before his death. Earlier this year, President Trump berated Wolff as a third-rate reporter. His other books about me discredited, as this one will be also. At least he didn't knife himself 23 times in the back and neck and chest, yeah. So just this, Author Michael Wolff sues Melania Trump, saying she threatened him with $1 billion over the Epstein-related claims. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with this. We'll see what happens with this lawsuit. This is just repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, the same thing over and over again. All right. On to another story now. This is frightening for everyone who pays attention. The U.S. debt tops $38 trillion for the first time, worsened by the government shutdown. With a subathon to pay for shows in 2026, gifted 50 sub in one show. I don't know what that means. The U.S. gross national debt surpassed $38 trillion for the first time, the Treasury data shows. The country's mounting debt comes when the government remains closed, disrupting the economy as hundreds of thousands of federal workers go unpaid. Well, if they're not getting paid, why is the debt going up? Isn't that where all the money goes? Government shutdowns can boost the national debt because they delay economic activity and postpone fiscal decisions, while pausing federal programs and starting them up again can also increase costs. OMB estimated that 2013 shutdown cost $2 billion in lost worker productivity. Are those workers really productive at all? Reaching $38 trillion in debt during a government shutdown is the latest troubling sign that lawmakers are not meeting their basic fiscal duties. It seems that like we're adding debt faster than ever. That's because we are. We passed $37 trillion just 2 months ago, and the pace we're on is twice as fast as the rate of growth since 2000. The longest shutdown in U.S. history, 35-day stalemate in 2018, cost the economy $11 billion, largely to a reduction in spending by federal workers. Yet we're the richest country on earth. How is it true if we're that much in debt? We're screwed either way. That's right. In September, 81% of voters surveyed highlighted the national debt as an issue of concern. Yeah, but none of them vote like it. According to economists, the growing mountain of debt leads to higher interest costs for the U.S. government. Interest payments on the national debt are forecast to rise from $4 trillion to $14 trillion. We can't make that debt. That's a problem. Rising U.S. debt could also undermine investor confidence in the economy. Credit rating agency Moody's downgraded U.S. credit rating in May from its top rating in AAA to AA1, reflecting investor concerns. The two other major credit agencies, Standard & Poor's and Fitch, have also lowered U.S. rating. Ryan McGinnis, president of the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, a prominent voice on the nation's fiscal policies, also expressed concern over the national debt topping $38 trillion. The reality is that we're becoming distressingly numb to our own dysfunction. We fail to pass budgets, we blow past deadlines, we ignore fiscal safeguards, and we haggle over fractions of a budget while leaving the largest drivers untouched. She said in a statement, Social Security and Medicare, for example, are just 7 years from having their trust funds depleted. There never really was a trust fund. Don't hear anything from our political leaders on how to avoid disaster. Well, everybody, we went 4 hours, a little over 4 hours. I think I'm going to call it a night. I was trying to stick around and wait to see if Joe was going to raid me or not, but I don't know if he forgot. I don't know if he ended. I don't know what's going on. But I don't know how much longer he's going to go. So I'm going to call it a night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Come on back for Jim to tell you guys the news or something like that, I guess. I don't know.